in here.
And we are live. It is 8:03 p.m. Eastern, 5:03 p.m. Pacific, 1:03 a.m. UK time, 2:03 a.m. in Henning Polly's bedroom right now. Welcome, one and all, to the Sunday Night Hang. I'm your host, Ben, and joining me tonight is Big G, Gary Tholander, and Terry's GG&G joining me as well. Good to see you guys once again.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
Well, you know,
thank you again.
Fun on Friday night. We figured we'd continue the party because our regularly scheduled guest ran into a delay who may or may not be able to jump in during the show. And because I don't like to throw people under the bus too much, I'm not going to say who it is. So we may have a surprise. We may not. We'll see. Let's see. Who do we have? The chat's flying already. So
yes, it is.
In the chat, we have Knucklehead Zero. Rock on. We have Vance Hicks. Oh, dear Lord. There's Bent Tom. Uh-oh.
Tommy.
Dennis Rio. Vance Hicks. Brian Landreth with his backward ass self. Excuse me. We've got my good buddy Mark Taft in here. We've got his older brother Milt Taft in here. We've got Dan of New Jersey. We have Paul Liu, Martin Lemaire. We have Ned in here. Adam D. Paul Glover. Awesome. Will Varela, Pete Hickson. Did I say Peter Bad? If not, Peter Bad. And lovely Janice Lala. Will Varela.
Hey, Janice.
Hey, Janice.
Nice. Nice. And for some reason, of course, as soon as we go to air, I get a tickle in my throat. So this should be fun. Excuse me.
You need to take a little sip of that vino there, Ben.
Yeah, I think, I might have to do that. George Lackey. Dale Palmer. Oh, yeah. That's right. Brian says, I sure shot the whole video on the wrong side of the phone.
Adam D, hello.
Back ass.
Hello.
See, hey, Adam. What's up, Adam?
Was up. I knew Brian had posted a video. I hadn't had a chance to watch it yet. But then I got this random message from Brian yesterday. Damn it, shooting videos is hard. I'm like, welcome.
Only if you care.
Yep.
Tommy boy. Hey, today's my boy's birthday, right?
Yes, happy birthday, Kyan.
Yeah, man.
Happy birthday.
The big 1-6.
Look out.
Oh, to be
Look
16
out, lady.
again.
I don't know if I did a lot of dumb stuff when I was 16, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember back that far.
Yeah,
I'll time ago.
I did. Nice.
That was 42 years ago. That's scary just saying that. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm old. I'll drink to that. Cheers, everybody. Let's have a good time, eh?
That's right.
Yep.
Maurice DeBert, I think. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, on behalf of Kyan, I'll say thank you, everybody. Will Varela says he'll be right back. He's probably off to marry wife number 11.
I was just going to say.
Did I say that out loud?
That's okay.
Dang.
Nobody's paying attention.
Kyan had steak, pork ribs, and fries for his birthday lunch.
Wow.
Lucky
Nice.
What? Any leftovers? I'm kind of hungry.
No chocolate?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Kyan likes his chocolate.
Will says he was 16 when Lincoln was in office.
Oh, jeez.
When Hitler was a private. That's how old I am.
What was that, wife 2?
Yeah.
Chocolate brownie cake afterwards.
Oh, nice.
And Will said, no, that was wife number 27. Oh, okay. BC Rich 581, wild man. You've seen BC Rich everywhere in the chats lately, so it shows you how active both of us are in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have a lot of free time now.
Back to work tomorrow. I got to shoot a bunch of videos because I got basically nothing in the can. Well, I shouldn't say I got one video in the can and one that when I went to upload it at first with my internet connection, it said it was going to take 236 hours. So I went, no.
Yikes.
But you're
yeah.
gonna say days. I was gonna say, yeah, I'd be definitely saying no if it said days.
No, it's an hour-long HD video, so I got to go into town tomorrow to upload that. See, the idea is, I'm going to shoot some videos in music stores tomorrow, hopefully.
Cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Hey, Six String Brian, Blackjack Guitar Nut, Roxy Raid.
Hey, Rick, Dale, Brian. Good to see you.
Brian Landreth says, I've had a lot of wives, but I only married 2. And in case Brian's wife's watching, I won't stand up.
Are you pulling a Quentin tonight, are you?
Oh, his wife would like that. No. Apparently she thinks I look good in jeans.
Tone Boner.
Tone Boner. Good to see you, man. Awesome. So I've been gassing a bit the last week. I don't know about you guys, so.
I haven't acquired anything, but I've been jonesing for some stuff.
I want a Gretsch.
Really?
Speaking of which, if you were actually in a natural topped one, Gilbert's Music in Aurelia has 2 of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went and I noticed because they opened back up finally. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. And that was one of the things that he posted. He said, if you're into that model, he said, we just had 2 with a natural clear top on them. And I was like, oh, wow, that with like a natural clear top on it. I mean, that color on that one of Rich's is nice, but
yeah. Well, and that was the only year they did that Fairlane Blue on Rich's. That was the only year.
Yeah.
Hey, Guitar Man 45. And no Blackjack Guitar Nut. I'm not wearing short shorts.
I got a buddy of mine, my buddy John, the bass player, just bought a, I think it's a 72 Gretsch bass. Man, if you've, I don't know if you guys ever played like an alembic bass. It plays and sounds just like an alembic. It almost looks like one too. It's gorgeous. Beautiful bass.
Tone Boner acquired a Friedman Runt 20 and an SG. There's a nice little tone powerhouse right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently Frank Rizzo was calling Six String Brian today.
Listen, tough guy. So, Mr. Cote, did you go riding today? Go for putt?
I hope he did. It's gorgeous out around here. Well, then again, Terry was saying he got some hail in his area, so.
Yeah, when I woke up at about, what was it? I woke up about around 7 or 8, and it was like, I was like looking at him like, is it still like really early out? And I look at him like, oh, it's like near 9. I'm like, that's crazy. So I went upstairs, I made some oatmeal with blueberries in it, and it was just like, in that amount of time from waking up to the amount of time I came upstairs, it just went from like cloudiness to like really nice sunshiny weather. And then by the time 10 o'clock rolled around, it was right back to like junky, cloudy overhang stuff. So
BC Rich defending his actions for seeing each other in so many chats. I think he's had an eventful quarantine, you know, hanging out lots of guitar chats. He finished upgrades on a telly.
There's worse things you could be doing.
Excuse me.
Grumpy Mike got a Marshall Origin 50 yesterday.
Nice.
It's interesting because my friend, he just bought a Tone King amp. Not the Tone King, but the actual brand.
Tone King brand. They're nice amps.
Yeah, he got that, and I was wondering what he was going to do because he's got the Hughes and Kettner Tubemeister 36.
Oh,
so it's like, and then he has a Marshall Origin 20, and then so sure enough, I go and I look on Kijiji earlier today. I'm like going, okay, so you put the kit.
I was going to say those are all different, unique beasts. Not a lot of overlap. at least.
Yeah,
Joseph Delangelo. I saw Laz already in here. Awesome.
What's up, Dwight? Laz, what's up, guys?
Nice.
So beyond that, in regards to gas, well, ever since I got that Fender Acoustic in the trade, and I put the new Ernie Ball Earthwood strings on it, it's like playing that earlier today, and I was just like really getting into that, and I was just like,
yeah, it was a nice little shootout you did the other day there, because it's like you don't get too often where you're going to get a shootout between two acoustics that are similar in like prices, build quality, and then Terry goes and throws the same damn strings on them too. So I'm like, well, here we go.
That's a dead shootout right there, man.
yeah,
I like elixirs. I've been using elixirs for acoustic strings, man. I love elixirs.
I put them on just so I don't have to restring every time I want to play my acoustic.
Yeah, exactly. Mine sits in the case most of the time. I don't play acoustic a whole lot.
When I was playing acoustic all the time, I would just use Earthwounds or a Martin Marquis back in the day.
Right.
yeah, that's what I said. Like I was using those really cheap Martin acoustic strings for a while, and I was blown away with how good those were sounding even. And we have Dwight Bailey, Music Therapy Laz. I'm not sure if there's anyone else missed in the side chat here.
All right, where's that comment?
Yeah, PC Richard does, man. It's getting wet, Ben. Take it out of there.
Yeah, that's just a dream.
It looks like
that bridge pickup's underwater, man. You need to pick
It's the coolest stir stick ever.
Yeah, swizzle stick, swizzle ball.
it's one of those album covers from the 70s. The Les Paul in the wine glass.
Yeah, you get that total diffused lighting thing. And
yeah, Dwight, I can see you, buddy. I can see your chat.
I think Dwight needs to refresh.
I think so, too. I think I need to be refreshed.
I just like to get rid of this tickle in my throat.
Oh, no, I can see much better.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you said that, and then I just got one here myself. You bugger!
You guys aren't drinking enough. That's the problem.
Well, I was like, do I need to grab like a Halls or something? But then the wine's just going to take like ass after that. I'm like, nah, I'd rather cop and drink.
Ricola.
Well, I think the other thing is it's the allergies are now kicked out with those past few hot days. Because like when I went to sleep last night, I was all stuffed up in my nose. I was having a hard time to breathe, and I'm like thinking, no, I hope that's not COVID. And it's like, no. Ended up going away, and I'm like, thank God.
I haven't been anywhere except for the liquor store. I'm playing it safe.
Probably a good idea.
Excuse me. Brian's like, I'm driving my nightly 500 miles. Go long.
Oh, boy.
Go long. Toss the football.
No kidding. Will, I'm not even going to comment on that comment.
Need some beer.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Oh,
Hey, Chris Post.
Do you have the shirt on, considering we are on?
Terry's got a beaver stamp.
Nice. Chris Post is, what up, guys? I mean, I've been getting lucky on Pete's show lately. He actually answers my questions. Lately, it's like winning the lottery. Yep, well, when you got like 700 people watching, I would agree.
Yeah, he had Jennifer Batten on today, man. I watched a couple hours of that. Wow.
Yes.
She's cool as shit, man. I'd like to hang out with her.
She's actually been posting up some stuff, too.
Yeah, I'm not sure Patrick, who was in the chat there, if Patrick also watches here or not. He missed Pete missed the super chat today, and so I messaged him. Like, I think you guys may have seen that in the chat. I was like, Pete, you missed super chat. And he saw my text about half an hour later, and he felt so bad to the point where he may even do a giveaway or something next week.
Oh, jeez.
Cool. He's a nice guy, man.
Yeah. Dan New Jersey.
Yeah,
Peter,
I was lurking.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, I was lurking during his stream. I had some shit going on over here, so I wasn't really following.
Oh, dang, Laz. I want to hang out with you guys longer too, but I have to leave. So here's to you all. You rock. You rock, awesome. Laz.
Yeah, you rock, Laz.
Oh, here's someone else that returned to the scene of the crime.
So I was just going to say there's trouble.
Doug, what's up, buddy?
I swear, Friday night was hearing JJ challenge Doug to a match at Cornhole.
Man. What the hell was JJ thinking?
Well, we're talking, there's it's a combination surfing competition, cornhole tournament, and live music all in one event.
Oh man, almost like a triathlon, but for a quadrathlon?
Yeah, we're pretty much all set there. Hey, Mikey Newman.
And my knees hurt.
Yeah, this big boy don't surf. I need to stand on a Boston Whaler.
I said hi in the chat, but eating. Well, apparently while Doug eats, he doesn't pay attention to us on screen because we did give him a shout out.
We did. I heard it myself. You gonna be all right, Ben? You okay, buddy?
Still coughing away.
Man.
I don't know. I figure I'm just packing up a little bowl full of something, see if that helps.
Oh, there you go. Can't hurt.
It might actually tear something loose or something. I don't know.
Exactly. That's why I look at it, too. I don't know why my computer keeps timing out for some reason. That's weird.
Do you have an update? Or no, actually, no, you got the power saving feature on. So that's why it's probably doing the timing.
Maybe. Yeah, but I'm watching when I have YouTube up, it doesn't do it. Only when I leave the StreamYard screen up, it times out.
Weird.
It's strange. Because it's still using Pro.
Brian says for me to get a mask. I have a mask.
I'm wearing mine right now, if you can't tell.
And yes, anytime you want to give a blanket hello, you can do something like this. Great Vanzini on my phone. So, good evening, everyone. So we can all say, hey, Great Vanzini.
Hey.
See, you get these kind of preferred treatments on my channel if you put up like Gretsch demos and shit.
No, we'll leave that event up to you since you're probably an expert at that.
Hey, my knees hurt. Excuse me.
You are excused. Well, seeing how I'm on the Canucks show, and I'm not Canadian, should I throw in more like A's and stuff when I talk?
Yeah, you're nice.
More genuine.
You're nice. You're community based, you know.
Oh, thanks, A.
Here we go.
I can start using hose.
I had a Gretsch hat. Yes, Brian and I have the same Gretsch hat.
Nice.
So every time he puts up a video, if he's wearing that hat, I always comment, nice hat. Hey, Charles75N.
Howdy.
Will Varela's asking what t-shirt I'm wearing. Levy guitar straps. There we go. Thanks to the good folks at Levy.
I'm wearing a vintage Mudvayne shirt.
Nice.
Nice.
I miss that band.
Hey, Zach Thon.
Zach, what's up, man?
Hey, Zach. That reminds me, speaking of Levy Straps, I'm on Instagram last night, and somebody, I guess in the YouTube guitar community, I guess that I have on my Instagram or whatever, posts up about his Gretsch strap that he got for his Gretsch guitar. Flips it over and he posts the picture of it and he goes, "Well, I'm glad to know that it's made by the fine boys and girls or brothers and sisters from up north." And on the back of the strap it said "Made in Canada."
Wow.
I want to say Nova Scotia they're out of?
I guess.
Okay.
I would have thought Levy, because Levy does so many different straps. I mean, you'd have to think that they do OEM straps.
Oh, yeah, they do. They do.
So that's why I thought maybe when it said "Made in Canada," I thought maybe it was a Levy strap.
They do they even do non-branded for OEMs.
That's something on my forehead. Okay, now it's gone.
All right, everyone's saying hey to each other. Knucklehead Zero's back from barbecue duty. We should ask what's on the grill.
Beaver tail?
I know Doug is in the chat. He was doing some grilling earlier. I don't know why he said he got to pick up dinner. Maybe the grilling didn't go so well because he had the new grill going at like noon today. He's like, "I got a new wood and charcoal grill." I said, "That's awesome." Ooh, Knucklehead Zero did brats.
Show of hands. Who has a griddle and not a grill? I got a Blackstone griddle.
I don't.
Let me tell you something. I will never use a grill again, ever in my life. There's nothing like having a big flat top, cast iron flat top.
Yeah.
You can do everything on that thing, dude. It's crazy good.
Oh, I know. After using a commercial grill for a number of years, definitely, yeah. It's nothing
Flat
like it.
tops are the way to go, man.
Martin's headed out. He says leaving. Ciao all.
Take
Yeah.
care, Martin.
Canadian Bacon versus Strange Brew. Strange Brew? Duh.
Yeah. Both were funny,
nice,
but
Will.
I mean two different eras, really.
Well, that and Canadian Bacon did more spoofing of Canada, whereas Strange Brew just pointed out blatantly Canadian things that were true.
Yeah.
Like who would play hockey in a brewery?
We will play a pickup game of hockey wherever there's enough room to play a pickup game of hockey.
It makes perfect sense to me.
I was laughing.
I'm a hockey guy. I used to play way back when. Will Varela has a flat top and a grill. Way to go, man. You get the best of both worlds.
Nice. I am currently neither, but I'm getting a barbecue hopefully this coming week.
Cool. Oh, great. Now I caught the cough.
I'm starting to clear up.
Yeah, Ben, I guess you coughed towards Gary, and then
You gave me the fucking COVID, you prick.
it coughs downward at me.
I believe so, BC Rich 581. Rick Moranis went to high school with Geddy Lee. I do believe so.
Yeah, there you go, Pete. Yeah, same difference. It's like having a flat top. Yep. Yeah, Dale, I use cast iron frying pans too all the time.
It's actually funny because that is actually something that come up in discussion when talking about the origins of the hamburger. And they said how the original hamburgers were cooked when the first people came over and started making them, I think around the Columbus area was where it actually started. And they said it was flat top.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Pete Yellick is headed out. See you, man.
Adios.
And Vance X says, Jesus, I'm putting a mask on. I get that. Let's see here. Joseph D'Angelo says, Gary, saw you on Dave's. Those Antigua Coronados are way cool, man. I actually have a 67 Coro, but it's red.
Oh,
that's all right. As long as you're in line with the whole Antigua thing. I just think it's cool.
Randy
I don't
Greer.
know why.
Randy Greer winning new subscribers on the channel.
Hey, Randy, what's up, man? Welcome.
Yes, Six String Brian. That's Gary. Do you know Bubba the Love Sponge?
I not personally, but I've spoken to him.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yep. Well, when my band was playing live a lot, he used to come to a lot of gigs and stuff, so I kind of met him that way.
Nice. Brian Landreth says he makes killer toast on a grill or griddle.
Yeah. Yep, best way to toast your buns ever.
Sound Propeller Patrick, hello. He says, greetings all. Got 56 people in here. Nice.
Yeah. It's actually really high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben Tom.
I wasn't going to go there.
Yeah, that's a long story, Tommy. We'll talk about that off air sometime. I know a little something. I know a little something about that deal.
Yeah.
Through another radio DJ, actually, I heard the real story.
I remember once I was at a party with a local DJ. What was he doing? The afternoon drive time on the local top 40 station, Pop. And we're talking mid-90s time frame. So he had, the Teeny Bopper show, the top 5 at 5 and all that stuff. And we're hanging out at a party. And he's just like, and it was one of these kind of open house parties in an apartment building where several apartments were having a party. So you could mingle from one apartment to another, different floors, what have you. And he's just like, this party's whack. You want to go to the strippers across the street? And I'm just like, okay, first of all, there's like 400 people at this party of 8 apartments. So it's happening. And second of all, even at that time, and this is before these things, and I went, no, because someone will snap a photo, and I don't want to be seen with the local teeny bopper DJ. No.
My wife and I actually got married on the radio down here in Florida.
Nice.
23 years ago.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice.
Jeff Blasey. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Jeff Blasey. I think he's out in California now. But he was a DJ at WYNF down here, like the local rock station. But yeah, we had it was called White Trash Wedding. They had 4 couples. We got married in this club in Sarasota called Orbit. And the original plan was to have 4 trailers, like campers, in the parking lot where you spent your honeymoon for each couple. They served like TV dinners and like Pabst Blue Ribbons. It was total white trash. And we're the only ones that actually stayed married.
Oh wow!
The longest. Yeah, I think the first like 2 of the couples got divorced like the next week. I think the next one lasted like a year, and we're still married. First time I got to ride my friggin' Heritage Softail into a building, into a club. That was pretty cool.
Hey, we got Krellba. Hello.
What's up, Jimmy?
Dennis Brio asks, for us, I guess, the panel, everybody, best and worst Gibson pickups. Well, Gibson has used the same name on a variety of pickups, in my opinion. Like you hear the 490 and the 498Ts or whatever, whatever those numbered ones are, was for a number of years. But all I know is whatever pickups they were using in like the 2015s, which a lot of those ones had that 3 knobs and the 10 decibel micro switch, which sucked ass, is my opinion, because there was strictly a rhythm player at a time. Why do I need a lead boost built into my guitar?
Yeah.
Whatever pickups they were using, which I think were like the 490s and the 498Ts or whatever, but at least that generation, I was at the flagship L&M Long McQuaid that day on Bloor. They pulled out 11 guitars for me, and I didn't like a single one of them.
Yeah, I'm not a Gibson guy. I've owned one Gibson my entire life, and that's when I was like 18. I had an SG, 68 SG, which I wish I still had.
A.K.A. Gravel Rocks. Adam D.
What's interesting?
Yeah, Jimmy, my wife does deserve some kind of medal for being married to me for 23 years. I totally agree with you, buddy.
I'm just going to note here that Brian said he finds the 61s the worst. I got to admit that was probably the nicest thing about that SGJ was actually the 61s. Of course, I've had the SG Special.
I was going to say they may sound better in an SG than a Les Paul too, right? Because
yeah,
I think that they're two different beasts.
Yeah, and I think that's really truly what it is when it comes to the Gibson Instruments platforms themselves, like the SG, the V. Like in my previous experience, I had the Flang V Faded that I got for a Stratocaster that I refinished that's on the channel.
Right.
And I hated those pickups that were in that. And that was like I think a 490 rhythm and a 500T. That 500T was just like, ugh. And then funny that I go and I get Dragonfire Vintagers and put that in, and they actually sounded better than the Gibson pickups that came stock.
Weird.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I'd have to say, based on playing my friends' Gibsons, probably the nicer pickups are the A2 based classic 57s.
Okay.
And the 335s, and they put in some of the LPs as well too.
And Brian was agreeing with you too. He goes, "Yeah, in the SG they're good, but Les Paul not so much."
Yeah.
Except for the neck dive. SGs have a shit ton of neck
But
dive.
there are those unicorn ones out there that don't dive, like Richie had, and then Richie went and got rid of it without letting me know. And I'm like, dude, he goes, what? I'm like, that thing's a unicorn. You should have given me a heads up.
Was that the one that he actually traded to me for the Jazzmaster?
Quite possibly. No comment, Terry.
Oh my god.
I got a feeling Terry's going to get booted here in a couple of minutes.
No,
Terry, it was nice knowing you, buddy.
No, because Gary, you want to know how karma, I'm a big believer in karma, right?
Yeah, me too. Me too, man.
So they make that trade, and you, Terry, traded a modded guitar. You had turned it into, what's his name, Buddy from Sonic Youth?
Yeah,
like his
Jazz Blaster. So
yeah, he made this Jazz Blaster, right? So Richie falls in love with it, as Richie does, makes the trade. But as Richie is, he can't keep a piece of gear more than a couple of weeks unless he absolutely falls in love with it. So,
right.
Of course, last year I wasn't talking to Rich quite as often. And so I said to Rich, so, you still got that offset you got from Terry? He goes, no, man. He goes, he goes, honestly, dude, I ended up taking a bath on that deal. I was like, why? He goes, well, I made the deal with Terry, and that was all fine. But in order for me to get rid of the guitar, I had to change it all back. So I had to go and buy all these parts and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, man.
Gary,
that
Gary,
sucks.
here's the karma part. Because Terry thought all those old parts were surplus, he gave them to me last year. They've been sitting here in a box. Richie could have had all that for free.
That truly is how karma works, for sure.
You know what I said? He didn't ask. Keep me in the loop, brother. That's all I asked. Keep me in the loop.
That's
I
awesome.
want to shout out, we got David Ennis and my lovely sister Amanda joining us.
Yeah.
Hey, Amanda.
Hello,
Hey, Dave.
Amanda. Hello, Dave.
What's up, Dave?
Yeah. So, that's what Richie gets for flipping gear without bothering to check with me,
Yep.
Not saying I'm some guru or anything, but at least, reach out to your buddy. So, hey, buddy, do you happen to have everything I need for a project? Why, yes, I do, because I know all parties involved. And
as a matter of fact, I do.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Ben, the last album by my band was named Riding the Karma Train.
That's awesome.
And we spelt karma wrong.
Nice.
On the album, on the CD cover.
Perfect.
Oh,
Spelled
hey,
KHARMA. I'm like, man, that ain't right. They
I've
didn't
seen
care.
it both ways, but it doesn't look right with the H to me.
Me either. That's why I immediately spoke up and said, man, you spelled that wrong. Fuck it. It's already being printed. Let it go. I'm like, okay.
I guess it falls under the no regrets.
There you go. Exactly. No regrets.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, go on Spotify and type in "Riding the Karma Train" with an H, and you can listen to my shit for free.
That's funny. Then again, though, sometimes doing stuff like that actually works.
It does. I agree. Just being off like that much, gets people's attention sometimes.
Hobo Rudy. Hey, buddy. He says, I just bought another EVM 12L. Y'all right with that, Ben? Let's see. EVM 12L. That's... What is that? I can look that up.
And when I read something like that, I usually think it's a Cort. Because Cort does have an EVL series.
No, that's a speaker.
Sister Sandra in the house. What's up?
Oh, the Electrovoice. Okay.
Love you, buddy.
Hey, Sandra.
Excuse me.
I gotta go back to the YouTube view because I'm missing all the chat, man.
Let's see here. Did you get the black label, I assume? Ooh. It can handle some power. All right.
I'm going to venture to guess that's a Eddie Van Halen speaker.
No. Electrovoice.
Stomp box.
Well, good enough for Zach Wilde. I'm sure it's going to hold up. I assume Zach Wilde uses him since the black label one, it looks like his font. Black label. So. Hey, there's Paul Ewing, a Stomp Box Steels. Who was messing too much with the troll today in Pete Thorne's chat. The troll wanted me. Somebody that was trolling up the comments. I shouldn't call the guy a troll, but he was trolling up the comments a bit. Paul Ewing kind of let him have it, and not being a troll himself. Like basically, like just stating fact. Which is the worst thing you can do to somebody. And the guy's like, "Can you ban Paul Ewing?" I'm like, no, Paul Ewing's a huge supporter of this community. Are you kidding me? You, sir, I see part-time here and there.
Yeah.
And I can say that because I've seen Paul Ewing in here. I may have seen the other guy on my channel before. Maybe. And if he's here, come on in.
I've seen that happen a lot doing moderating when people have been like, come in, this person's talking, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, well, I'm not going to ban them because they've been around here longer and you actually are the one that's at fault, so...
Well, yeah, and it's not even someone that might even be new to the channel, like a name that you may have just seen pop up once or twice, whereas, and then they would be, Greg Vanzini's talking out his ass, you're like, we all know Greg Vanzini. He's a full-blown member of the community, Yeah,
he doesn't roll like that,
Yeah. Because my first thought would be then is, did somebody spoof his account? And then you scroll up in the chat and you're like, where's this so-called offensive message? And it'll be something like, he might say, well, the Gretches that they're doing, the offshore ones, they're good bang for the buck, but they're not the same as the original US-made ones do. You're like, all right, well, that's a valid opinion, even though opinions are like assholes, we all have them, but that's a valid opinion,
Yeah.
Hello, Eddie Van Haskell.
Hey, Eddie Van Haskell, good to see you, man.
Sup?
It's so funny because I usually watch Hockey Buzz, which is run by the controversial Eklund guy that everyone thinks is a scammer for hockey rumors and that. So it was funny because I was in there like a long time ago, and all of a sudden he comes in and he's like, "Hey Terry, what are you doing in here?" I'm like, "What are you doing in here?" Because I always watch this show every once in a while. I'm like, oh, shit, cool. Like, hey. So it's just kind of funny how you bump into people like in other kind of varying topics around YouTube.
John, ZD351 says, more wrenches in this chat than any other channel. I can't figure out if Ben has the tightest or loosest nuts on YouTube. Well, John.
Oh, my God.
You can never be too careful.
I was going to say, have you been around on a Sunday evening when all of a sudden I have 30 thumbs downs? Gary knows. Terry knows, because Terry's... yeah,
You only got 2 thumbs down tonight, though, so that's good.
Yeah, dedicated guitar players.
Yeah.
Take care, Sandra. Have a good night.
See ya.
Oh,
Thanks for stopping in,
sister.
Sandra.
See you, sister. Love you. Take care, buddy.
The amount of individuals on YouTube that probably shouldn't be on YouTube, sometimes it's really is beneficial to have multiple wrenches.
We got to have them all, yeah. But we got to have all those people out there making content too, because you got to have bad, because if you didn't have bad, you wouldn't know what good is.
Exactly. Yep. Hey, Gussie. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man.
Hey, Gussie Wells.
Hey, Gussie.
Yeah, powerful speaker. Yeah, and I think Ben Tom put in there that both Bonamassa and Zach Wild use that speaker. Well, there you go. You know what? You don't even have to like either of those artists. That speaker gets a full-on stamp of approval, because if both Bonamassa can get his tone and Zach can get his tone out of the same speaker,
yeah,
I'm telling you, that sounds like a versatile speaker to me. Like,
that's a
to me, I'm already
thinking,
ooh, that would be good to put in. Like, if I'm playing in a cover band and you're using, like your different stomp boxes to sound like different amps, wouldn't you want? That sounds to me a very neutral speaker that's going to be overall response.
Yep.
Ooh, I love it when I play. Great, now I got gas for a speaker. Curses whoever brought up.
Now I got to buy speakers. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, yeah. I already went down the rabbit hole of fuzzes this year. Thanks, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't gone there yet. I'm not a big fuzz guy.
You know what? I can blame this community for that, because I had a few fuzzes literally given to me first. It was like the first few samples are free, enough for me to get a taste for it. Next thing you know, I'm out there. Hey, Sean Pierce Johnson, you got any surplus fuzzes kicking around? Because I know you got some next level stuff. Why, yes, I have that.
I still got to send you my Ingve pedal, Ben.
Right.
Holy damn! I just remembered that. Holy crap!
And I got to
that
send
was like
you
months ago.
Which one is it? The you wanted the metal one, the monotone metal.
Yeah, I think that's the one that I'd given you.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and in your case, Ben, it definitely was, I think, being around Sean Pierce Johnson and then RJ and their love for fuzz that definitely were the ones that ended up driving you.
Rhett and RJ, yeah, because they showed me how to use fuzz with it sounding like Hendrix or Dinosaur Jr. Like Rhett Shull does that tasty fuzz. Like, yeah. Somebody asked, BMF fuzz yet? Have I tried a BMF fuzz yet? I don't think so. Graham Campbell. Hey, Graham. Late night for Graham. Hey, Graham's in Scotland.
Graham. Holy crap, dude.
Or England.
What's it, like 1:45?
Yeah. No, but the Stinger fuzz from TL Pedals. I'm digging it. So. And I think Tim, I haven't seen him in the chat here tonight, but Tim should be coming on 1 week from tonight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Does BMF stand for bad mofo? It could. Hey, Brax Stubblefield's in here. He goes, LOL, I don't like fuzz. Ben Coombs, summer of 19. Yeah, that's when it changed with Summer NAMM, too, because I tried Haunted Labs Carolina Reaper, which is hands down one of the best fuzz pedals you're going to ever play. And Aaron's like, here, this is your fuzz. And I'm like, okay, it's a double pedal. It was a fuzz designed by, Chris who owns Haunted Labs. and the clean boost side of it was built by Kuzak. So it was this beautiful partnership, and it was like, oh my God. I was like, this is awesome. He's like, I know, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I can play my stuff and still get a cool tone. And I was like, damn, okay.
I was just watching the latest Andertons video today where the captain and Chapman did like a live thing back and forth because apparently Chapman moved to Bali. He lives in Bali now, full time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Rob Chappers had a I can't remember. I got to go back and look to see who made the pedal, but it was a octave and fuzz pedal, 2 separate buttons. You know what I mean, side by side. Man, that thing sounded wicked, and I'm not a fuzz guy at all. That pedal sounded great.
Speaking of pedals,
Hey, Lawrence, what's up, buddy?
Get to work for Ben more.
that man,
Oh, not Bali, it's Malta. I'm sorry. Yeah, you guys are right. Yeah, Malta.
that man, I saw a row of Hayseeds done already. Like,
Yeah.
he's moving fast.
Well, what yous are only doing an initial run. That's
Vance Hicks says, hey, Ben, I brought my telly and drugged my amp up here tonight. Baby steps. Nice.
nice.
Step in the
Well,
right
what he
direction.
say? He started out with he would sit around with an acoustic while watching live streams, and
Yep.
then I think it was during Phil McKnight's show. He's like, "Well, I got my telly in my hand, so I'm switching up, but it's not plugged in or anything." I'm like, "Hey, baby steps, no need to go too crazy."
Yeah, I think the biggest thing when we talk about fuzz is everybody assumes that fuzz is they're all the same way, and it's like as a lot of the people like Rhett Shull and a couple others have said, no, there's so many different circuits for fuzz, and you might not like one style of fuzz, but there might be a style out there that you actually might get into.
Yep. Let's see here. Doug is possibly getting himself banned from the chat by giving away NASCAR spoilers. Although a wreck in turn 2 at Charlotte's not that surprising early in a race.
No.
Just saying, it usually happens. It's usually where the first caution of the night happens. You won't get another wreck there the rest of the night, but that's where it'll happen for the first one. And I
heard
do believe...
I heard a rumor they might be open in Richmond again.
Yeah. The way that they're doing it right now is rather than just resuming the season, they are running multiple times a week, but they're all doing it at tracks nearby, all within driving distance. And since 99% of teams are in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, for instance, they drove 3 hours down to Darlington for 2 races last week. They're doing Charlotte this weekend. Then they're going to do, basically, we're looking at Bristol, Tennessee. So that's right in that northwestern
that track.
or northeastern.
That's probably my favorite track.
Yeah, Richmond, Martinsville, all that stuff's on the table because it's all just driving distance, so nobody has to fly anywhere.
Yeah, I like the short tracks, man. I love the short tracks.
Yeah,
I'm not a big super speedway guy.
6-string Brian, don't get yourself banned. That's my driver, Clint Boyer. I don't need to hear about 14 in the wall.
Clint was driving the Jack Daniels car, man. He was my boy. He actually won that season. I had money on him. I won the NASCAR pool that year.
And I'm thinking, and Brian knows me well enough. He might know that I'm a Boyer fan. So, and I was going to say, Lawrence, I believe, is doing an exclusive, opened up pre-orders for his Hayseed pedal just to my subscribers. And basically, I believe the email, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the email is info@lpdpedals.com. Say, put me on the list for the Hayseed and tell them Ben sent you. We'll see.
Cool.
Now, if he can correct me if that's incorrect.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Brady Greer lives near Bristol or next to Bristol. Nice.
That's cool. Must be tough to take naps on Sunday afternoons or Friday nights.
I don't know. I think I did nod off during a race one year. And that was in the infield.
Oh my God.
You would have had to be consuming.
How is that even
various
possible?
things to do that.
I don't know. I had the air defenders on.
I got a pretty good idea how.
What? I'm holding one of the reasons right now.
Yeah, that's one of the two reasons, yeah.
Well, and that was the thing, especially on race day, right? Because race day is the culmination of we've already been down there the better part of 2 weeks, and you're leaving tomorrow, so you might as well party it up.
Get her done.
Lawrence says he has 7 of the Hayseed slots left.
Yep.
Yeah, Doug, soundproof camper helps too.
Is there such a thing?
Oh, dude, the first few years we were in a tent, and the first thing you do on race day is clean the track. So you got jet dryers out at 6:30 in the morning.
No.
You're like, great, it's 6:30 a.m. You know the race is going to end at about 11 p.m. So I guess I'm up.
Oh, Ben, you know what I just watched the other day for the first time in forever? Remember when Juan Pablo Montoya hit the back of the jet truck? And the thing exploded.
And well, that was
like,
I remember.
I totally forgot all about that.
I was working for the military at the time, so you had to be on base for 7:30 a.m. And that happened like at 2 in the morning. Remember, they were like, "Screw it, we're
yeah."
Because it was weird. There was like rainstorms and wildfires. Like the apocalypse was happening in Daytona that year. So they're like, "Fuck it, we got to get the race in."
Yep.
And I think, yeah, it wasn't already like a Monday night. Like they had already gone all through Sunday. So it was a Monday night. It was like 2 a.m. Tuesday kind of thing.
Yeah, there's like nobody in the stands.
And I'm nodding off, and they're like, "Yeah, we're under caution, drying the track." And Juan Montoya just ran in the back of the jet dryer. I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Big ball of fire and friggin' fuel running down the track, and it was like, holy shit.
Oh yeah,
how was that even possible?
Doug said, "Yep, Monday." Yeah, or Doug, remember the one year, like where we were camping on Redneck Hill? That's in between 1 and 2 in Charlotte, and you know what? Like at the end of pit road, you have where the safety teams come out. They have the opening in the wall there where the safety. Yeah. Okay, so. Going through the quad oval at Charlotte, you know, people every couple of years someone tries to pass in the grass that ends up just taking out people. So the person that got taken out was Danica Patrick. So she hits the inside wall, kind of scoots down to the end of pit road. So people come out, you know, the safety crew comes out. So she sees an opening to get back to the garage area. That's not the garage area. That's our camping row.
Oh my God.
So, like literally, you have like the way those infields are, you know, it's like a flea market. You have just enough room for a car and about 2 feet on either side, and you're into campers, right? Like there's maybe a 12-foot gap, camper to camper.
Yep.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter that those cars run an open exhaust. When you're idling through a campsite with a beat-up car, and I come walking around the corner of the trailer, I'm like, God damn, there's a race car. You know, and she's trying to keep it running, and the thing's all racked, and you know, so steam's coming out and smoke, and it's still pushing 120 decibels and hopping and humping all over the place. And she's just, God love her, she's trying to get it back to the garage area, and I'm like, this ain't the way. You're only going to get down to the bathhouse, if anything. You know, like she would have to drive halfway around through the infield to get back to the garage area.
You should have handed her a beer on the way by and said, "Here, man, good job."
I mean, no, I was stunned because I'm just like,
yeah.
All right. I mean, literally, and because so much weird things would happen at the races that you're just like, well, that happened. I guess this is the year that happened. Okay, sure.
Yep.
And you just shrug and move on.
Yep. Gussie, to answer your question, it's "Beautiful Bird" is the name of the song.
Nice.
That my band did. About 9/11, yeah.
Hey, Brad Miller. Oh, yeah. Doug
hey, Brad. Me. What's up, buddy?
Doug's going to jump on in with us.
Nice. Cool, and I'm gonna bug out for like 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yep.
Crowbar. No comment. I think that was the year after Richie went down. Which was a whole different experience.
Well, if it was similar to the one you told me about, fair. That would be.
Well, that was the end of it. Yeah, well, you figure, we pull up in the infield. We get out to stretch, because you've been on the road for a day. And we get out of the vehicle. I still know. I just sent you the link, Doug. And we get there. It's like 2:15, and I know first practice is at 2:30. And the infield that holds, thousands of people, there's like 45 of us because it's first day, nobody's there.
Yeah.
So I take Richie right down to the fence, and it's literally fence, 15 feet, painted line, 15 feet, race surface. So 30 feet. And I took him right down to where they bomb into turn 1 at 200 miles an hour.
Oh.
He heard them fire up in the garage area. He goes, wow, that's some noise. I'm like, that's nothing. As they're revving up, as they're going by, he's like, wow, these guys are really loud. I'm like, this is nothing. And then, to see the look on Richie's face, I'm sitting there with my phone waiting for it. All right, here it comes. And he's hanging on the fence, and he sees a car bomb in at 200 miles an hour. And he's just like, this is awesome. This is awesome. I'm like, yep. You don't have to be a fan to get hooked when you're there live.
Yeah, if you've ever stood by the fence at Daytona on the front straight, right at the tri-oval, and the train of cars, you hear them going into turn 3 and coming out of 4. It's like a friggin' freight train.
Yep.
And the friggin' wind, it blew the hat right off my head. It was it's unbelievable.
When we used to sit in the stands, I would sit, so literally I would be looking at the entrance to pit road line, right at the start of the speed zone, right at that pylon. That's where we usually sat. And so that way you had good views pretty much all around. And I think we sat down the first 40 rows the first couple of years. And then it got after a while, I was like, you know what? We're paying at that time, because literally they started lowering ticket prices every year that we went, because it was on that way, before they started tearing down grandstands even. And we're like, you know what? We pay $100 for an infield campsite. We pay $50 or $75 for a wristband that's good for 5 days. Why am I spending another $90 for a ticket for a seat that I sit in for 4 hours?
Yeah.
And after the first year, we're like, I don't want to go up in the stands because all my friends are hanging out in the infield. I just assume hang out with them.
And they get the big jumbotrons now, so you can see everything from everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were the first ones to put up the big TV. It's 80 feet high by 120 feet across.
It's ginormous, yeah.
So, and Terry, they chose...
there's 3 of them. There's 3 of them. They're together like a big triangle.
Not at Charlotte's, just the one big one on the back stretch, similar to...
I was talking about Daytona. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it was, and they play movies at night, so you can when you're camping out during the week, which is great. And but I remember I ate some bad chicken or something. I wasn't feeling well in the stand, so halfway through the race, I said, "Screw it, let's go down to the campsite. I want to go lay down." And during the walk down stuff, I was like, "Oh, starting to feel a bit better." And then I saw some buddies hanging out on top of their camper on one of those platforms. They're like, come on up. I sat up there, punched in on the radio with them. And as we mentioned on Friday night, I don't do heights, right?
Yeah.
Well, most of these guys are ex-military. And I thought, okay, are they going to give me the hard time like a bunch of jocks? No. They treated me like military members, where they're like, all right, the biggest guy got down the ladder. He goes, I'm standing below you. If you fall, I will catch you. You were nervous. I'm like, oh, okay. Up the ladder I go.
Should have done a swan dive off the roof of the thing.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Oh!
Van Tech says, I love it. Guitars, NASCAR. Can we talk about Harley Davidson next?
Sure.
Sure.
What do you want to know?
Terry Himes, the other Terry.
Grew up around motorcycles. I actually, I think I went to a professional motorcycle, several Canadian professional bike races, but I went to Daytona 200 before I ever went to a NASCAR race. Lost my driver's license on pit road at Daytona.
Oh, jeez.
Were you the guy that stole the pace car that time?
That was not me. But it was cool. Like at the 200, you know, when they have the motocross event, they set up the motocross course on the tri-oval in the grass there. And so we all just sat on the pit wall to watch the motocross race.
Yeah, right, Jimmy? Yeah, if it was me falling off the top of that fucking camper, they would have hauled ass. Like that? We ain't catching that guy.
Even funnier, BC Rich.
No, but I will say, Gary, Doug and I have seen more than one guy take a golf cart out and get about halfway through turn 1 and 2 at Charlotte on that whole 20-plus degree of banking before cops following him as well.
One guy? Don't you
one
remember that 6-person golf cart that had like 8 people?
Yeah.
And the Keystone cops were like half an hour trying to catch him?
Like you said, Gary, you know, single rows, right? Like a flea market, right? So we're sitting there in ours. There was always the empty site on the other side. So we literally watched the bad guys. 30 seconds later, cops. 40 seconds later, goes the bad guys down that row. Then the cops.
The other time, well, there's a video somewhere on YouTube. I got to find it again. When that guy cooler slid down turn 1, there were nothing but like a helmet and a pair of tidy whities, and the cops chased him through the campground for half an hour then too.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, nothing like seeing a guy wearing a helmet and tidy whities, just bucking her.
Yeah, like in that Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah, it's what's
thought he was on fire.
28 degrees banking, Doug, in 1 and 2?
It's pretty hard. Yeah, I couldn't walk it.
But yeah, it. So what people do, folks, is you get bored on. It's usually Saturday night, so you take the lid off your Coleman cooler. You hike up 3 stories up this banking of asphalt.
Slide down.
And
well, you got
slide
to climb
down.
under the fence first.
Oh yeah, after you got to climb the fence.
Yeah.
Dang, boner jams. I'm here for a great time. I have 41 tutorial videos of trimming my flat top, manscaping, and playing Mastodon songs on my Jazzmaster. Happy Sunday.
Nice.
I'm not down with anything except for the Mastodon. I don't need to watch you manscape or trim your flat top.
Pete Hickson asked how everyone carries their guitar on a motorcycle in a sidecar.
Very carefully.
That too.
I've never had to do that, fortunately.
But unfortunately, each year that we would go down the NASCAR races, it got a little more tamer every year.
I heard, Gary, you had said there about doing the swan dive. There was actually, Ben wasn't there last year. I flew down myself. And there was a guy actually did a swan dive backwards. He just fell off his platform and like landed head first.
That can't be good.
And that was on like the Thursday night.
Oh man!
Oh, qualifying.
Fun yet?
Yeah.
You know what's terrifying? Me and my wife did the Richard Petty experience at Daytona about 15 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something. And those guys are only going about 160, 170. But when you're on the passenger side of a cup car, when they come out of turn 2 at Daytona, there's a massive dip in the track that you don't really see like on TV.
You dropped 2 stories.
And I'll tell you what, if I wasn't strapped in as tight as I was, my head would have hit the roof of the car. And you're literally, the passenger side, you're like that far from the wall.
Yep.
And this guy's driving with one hand, and he's looking at me, and he's talking. And I'm like, fucking pay attention, dude. Because we're hauling ass. You do like 5 laps.
I'm thinking, what was the year that we were down with Karma and Grayson? So we're hanging out in the infield, and we decided because it's such a long drive down that we would go down for the All-Star race as well as the 600 because it's at the same track, right? So we get down there like the Wednesday before the All-Star race, do that whole week, you know, bumming around town. Great. All-Star race happens.
Terry, stop petting your beaver.
So the All-Star race happens on the Saturday night. And so in theory, everybody's kicked out of the speedway by noon, right? All the campers have to go by noon, except for us, because we pay this extra little fee so we can stay through. So all of a sudden, by noon, there is maybe a dozen of us in the whole south infield.
No, I think there were 6. There's only half a dozen.
Okay. Oh, there you go. So it happens this Sunday. It's my birthday. right? So Doug's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I just want to chill. You know, I'm going to play some guitar, get some sun. And all of a sudden, so I'm sitting there, and what happens? They start firing up the Richard Petty driving experience cars. Okay. There goes one. You know, and unlike Daytona, where you just go flat out, even in those cars, you got to let off. Like, you have to drive it, right? So
Right.
I'm like, huh. I see one go out. I'm like, that looks like fun. Crack a beer. Start down in a beer. Another couple come out. Crack another beer. Doug looks at me. What are you doing? I'm like, I have Dad's credit card in my pocket, and we have nothing to do. I got to get drunk so I don't go start spending money.
And for anyone else that does watch NASCAR and you think how great that traction compound shit they put down,
Oh my God, yeah.
no, that's not cool.
No.
Not at all. Not at all. Because they start putting that shit down at 11 p.m. at night, and they go till 7 in the morning.
Oh,
Okay? Do you know how they put that down? They have a sprayer with a tractor with like 8 wheels behind it, just screeching those tires all the way down. Over and over and over again.
The local drag strip here in Florida, man. If I've got a couple friends that have drag cars, and right after you walk out of the burnout box, I mean, if you don't tie your shoes, you're gonna walk right out of your sneakers, man. It's so sticky. It is so incredibly sticky. When they launch, like right at the tree, right behind the tree, it is super sticky. You'll walk right out of your shoes.
Oh, yeah. The funniest, it came up on my memories, Doug. The one year, it was the combination. They decided to try the green logoed tires, the super sticky tires for the All-Star race.
Yeah.
And then they put the traction compound down too. So then they had a retired Michael Waltrip test these tires. Okay. Gary, he's hitting the rev limiter not even halfway down the straight. So all we're hearing going around the track is ding, 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 ding. It sounds like a goddamn little dirt bike. Ding, 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 ding. I'm like, you're killing the motor, Mike. You're killing it.
That's why the rev limiter's there.
Flat out around Charlotte Motor Speedway, just boom, boom.
That's funny.
Jesus.
Yeah, my cousin used to race open wheel modifieds. The used to be the Featherlight modified series, open wheel modifieds. And
I know the series. Hey, we're Northeast. We know that series well.
Yeah, we used to race at Lake Thompson and stuff mostly in Connecticut and New Hampshire.
Yep.
And once in a while, I used to work for him.
OPD, you are correct. Some beavers do like to be spanked. That's why they have
a race car. But I got to like when we went to Thompson or Stafford Springs, I used to get to warm up the car.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like little half mile tracks, you know.
Yep.
And yeah, driving those open wheel modifieds, man, that thing is just. And I'm not even wearing a fire suit. I'm just like in jeans and a t-shirt, wearing a helmet, you know. And
Oh,
I'm
sure.
Like,
we would do that at our local track for hot laps. It was usually half and half, mechanics and drivers, right?
Yeah.
And it was always your best compliment as a mechanic was when one of the drivers come up and say, "Hey, who was out there running your car?" And they'd say, "Was that your driver out there?" And I'm like, "No, that was me." He's like, "You need to get a car, son." Because
you're faster than the guy you're working for.
Well, I found that I was shaking down a buddy's car because I always had helmet car suit in the trunk of the car just in case, right? You never know. But he said, "Hey, take my car out." I'm like, "Okay." Well, apparently, when I came out on track, I just totally cut off the defending track champ in that class who was out there shaking down his car. Well, he got pissed about it, of course, because it messed up his rhythm, and he chased me down for the next dozen laps. And I'm out there just shaking down the car. We don't have mirrors. It's dirt. We don't have mirrors. We don't have radios.
Right.
I didn't know anything about it. So I pull in the pits, start cleaning off the car and stuff. And he comes walking in. All right, and he starts screaming at our driver. "How dare you should know blah, blah, blah." He goes, "Dude, go talk to him. It wasn't me in the car." And I'm just like, he comes up to me and of course I heard him berate him. He comes up to me and goes, "Good job out there. You know how to wheel that car." I was, "What?" He goes, "I was doing my damnedest to take you out." He was trying to put me in the wall.
Jesus Christ,
Wow.
man. That's crazy. Wow, man.
It happened.
Yeah, I miss the old racing days a little bit.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Ben just goes to the music. or the one show that he didn't see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I made sure to tag you.
Yeah, thanks for tagging me in that memory this morning,
Yeah.
Doug. Nice
Not a
photo of him.
problem.
It's like right front row center type thing for ZZ Top. One of yours I didn't go.
Look at Doug rubbing it in.
Yep.
Way to go, Doug. Good
Yep.
for you. Rub it
Hello,
in.
amp top demo.
Milt was asking, was that Earl Gregory? No, it was Brady Kelman. He knows. He'll know the name. So you got the race on in the background, Doug?
No. It's
Okay.
on. It's got done stage 1. I got time.
Figure you'd be recording it like me anyways.
Yep. Just in case I fell asleep.
Yeah, that happens. And they can't believe you can't fall asleep at a track, eh?
Oh, you sure as hell can. My camper is soundproof. It's actually the noise is pretty dead in there.
Well, yeah, it takes down to just a dull roll if anything. But then you got the ear defenders on, listening to the race radio,
Yep.
and if they go silent on the radio, you're out. You're done.
Yeah.
Amp top demos. Hey, buddy. Most recent pedal you all have received. The Honker Overdrive and Stinger Fuzz.
Actually, I got mine right here. Oh, if I can reach it.
That's a good question. Do you mean received is in given or
Nice.
received is in bought?
It doesn't matter. It's received.
Oh.
Because if I have to think about the last one I bought, I'd have to think for a second.
If you're going for metal tone, this is the pedal. You run this thing into a clean Fender, and you're going to sound like Mastodon or like.
Right.
This is a great pedal.
Nice.
I bought this thing used on Amazon for like $50.
Nice. Mark asked, do I remember the night he raced the CRX placed 9th out of 14 and also placed ahead of Phil Coles, 4-time champ? I wasn't there that night, but I did hear word. It did trickle down to me.
There's the last pedal I've.
Ooh, the memory toy. That's a fun one.
Cool.
Yeah, that's actually what I traded that Sonic Cake blue Twiggy blues
right.
Twiggy for. Was
Brian Landreth coming in like a bomb, an LPD 87, and a Barber Gain Changer.
oh jeez.
Like a champ.
I really need to get a new compressor. I need a compressor.
It's nice. They're handy to have around,
Yeah.
Like it's a tool in the toolbox. If there is a pedal that's a tool in the toolbox pedal, it's a compressor.
I do a lot of saturated gain stuff, so you really need to have a compressor with that stuff to keep it tight,
Mike says Paul Newman could kick Steve McQueen's ass in a race all day. I'd say so. Paul Newman was a damn good racer.
And he made a mean salad dressing.
So was James Garner. James Garner was no
James
slouch
Garner,
either.
yeah. And McQueen too, but Paul Newman definitely the best.
Yeah.
Is everybody checking their phones?
No,
I'm checking the chat.
I've got
I'm reading the chat too.
I got a troll coming after me, so I'm just kind of.
Do I know him?
No. It's just the guy. I'm just making him look stupid. He's trying to argue with me, while agreeing with what I've said, but he's trying to say that. Yeah.
Jeez.
Originally from
I
where?
just told him that he needs to get off of Facebook because he's depriving his village of its idiot.
That's a good one.
Your village is missing an idiot.
This is the thing, folks. If and hey, Hit Metal Works, good to see you.
What's up,
Welcome. I think you guys got a bit of a taste of it on Friday night. When Doug and I hang out, Doug has some good one-liners, first of all, but Doug can come across, especially if you've been drinking at all, with his dry sense of humor. And Doug can be so deadpan. Like one night we were hanging out with those younger folks that came in, Beanie Girls, the one year.
Yeah.
And Doug comes up out of the blue, having not met these folks, right? He hadn't met them next to us, and goes into a Howie Mandel stand-up routine, verbatim.
Nice.
But Doug is telling it so straight-faced, right? And I'm sitting there at first, and I'm thinking, this sounds familiar.
And they're actually right into the whole conversation.
Yeah, and they're right into this whole conversation. And I'm thinking, all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute. Doug's doing Mandel here. He's doing stand-up, and these folks are eating it up like it's legit. And Doug's doing crowd work.
Kudos to you, Doug.
Or those other idiots, I think it was the second year or the first year? Second year, I think, that were trying to make fun of us by I've seen it in the chat before, by quoting Strange Brew.
Oh, right.
And they were all talking about it. I finally had to correct them because they thought it was all true for some reason. Like they were like that we drank Elsinore beer, and I'm like, no. I said if you actually took out a map and you actually checked out the directions that they gave to get to Oktoberfest, you ain't going anywhere near where they said they were going. No, I think you're actually going to my house.
Oh, jeez.
Because the directions are to go to Kitchener where Oktoberfest is, but in Strange Brew they're going to London because Kitchener owned the rights and they didn't want to let them use it.
Yeah,
I think Bob and Doug need to do like a reunion movie or something.
well,
Actually,
they tried doing the animated TV series, but it just wasn't good.
Yeah, it didn't go. Yeah,
No. Yeah.
I actually thought I heard that they actually were working on a possible reunion movie.
Oh man, I hope so.
Rick Moranis, I think, is pretty much retired from acting though, and has been for a number of years.
Well, as the story goes, he actually, as soon as he was done in the Ghostbusters, that was when his wife started giving birth. And as the story goes, he actually gave up acting to raise his kids.
Well, I mean, that's understandable, but that was a while ago.
Yeah, exactly. His kids would be probably in their 30s now.
Yeah.
Although Ben never talks about it, we do have another favorite movie from the 80s from that time. He just doesn't like to talk about it.
Oh boy. Go ahead, Doug. What is it?
Well, it's because it's a well, not for me, but for him, it's a family movie. Correct?
I'm at a loss here.
What is it? What is it?
What movie from the 80s from that time era did you have a family member in?
Oh, Porky's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't a minor character either.
No.
Not the guy looking through the shower stall through the peephole?
No, he was one of the two cops.
Actually, his brother.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, my uncle played the young cop whose younger brother was part of that.
The original Porky's?
Yeah. I think he's in the first two.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I got to watch it again now.
Well, you weren't fit.
My wife would be like, what the hell are you watching
part of the
Porky's
entertainment
for?
business then. Porky's movie and...
Because Amanda's laughing because he was a big thing at her wedding.
Yeah, he
That's
emceed
funny.
the wedding, didn't he?
Yeah. And everyone was
No, that was a different cousin. Never mind.
Yeah. But it was like, who cares about the bride? Is that who I think it is over there? At the bar?
Or I remember he was doing a movie. It was the third
Aren't you the cop
Cannonball
from
Run
Porky's?
movie. Yeah, they were shooting the third Cannonball Run movie, which was actually called Speed Zone, and that was actually shot north of Montreal. And so my mom actually went down for, I think, a week. She went down and hung out on set for a week. And because it's one of those movies, Cannonball Run type movies, it's just a cast of character. The cast is going to be huge. And so, she'd call home each day or something. And I'm like, oh, yeah, so how was your day today? She goes, oh, I had lunch with the Smothers Brothers.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, oh, cool.
Dick and Tommy. Hell yeah, man.
She was hanging out with, Dan Aykroyd a bunch. And he was married to, Donna Dixon at the time. She was in the movie.
Dan Aykroyd was in the third Gumball Rally?
Dude, if you watch the... See, that's the funny thing. As Canadians, when we can always tell when the sequel is shot in Canada because the cast goes from 99% American to half Canadian.
Okay, yep.
So all of a sudden you're like, oh, Dan Aykroyd's in it. Donna Dixon with the, because you got to have a bimbo blonde character, and she was great at playing
that. I gotta rewatch that too. Damn.
And actually,
Mickey Settlemyer in the house.
My Uncle
Mickey.
Lang was in the movie as well, Doug, because he would show up on set, because being brothers with Art, the actor, and so he'd just go in scenes as an extra. But because my uncle would be one of the bigger people in the movie production or whatever, it'd be like, okay, so it's a starting line of the cannonball race. So there's my uncle standing like right next to the guy with the start flag. So he's an extra, but that's like prime extra spot,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember a few times you'll be watching a movie and all of a sudden I'll be like, wait a minute, is that my other uncle? Like, what? Huh? Why?
What are they, just knocking on doors? Hey, you want to be in a movie?
I got it when I was hanging out up there one summer, and he called up. He goes, hey, we're shooting a big scene outside. We need extras. Do you want to come make some money? I'm like, all right, it's 1991. I'm making $16 an hour.
I'd be like, yeah, can I bring my beer?
It was catered.
That's nice. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, now I understand why movies cost so much to make.
Yeah, right.
I get it.
They got to feed all the extras.
Yeah, Beast Race X-Files was shot in Vancouver area for a few years.
Yep.
Yeah, the uncle that's an actor, his son still works in the industry as a video playback operator. So he's working on TV series in Toronto all the time. And he's like, you wouldn't believe some of the shows that were shot in Toronto. And it's like, really? Like, one of the last ones you worked on was the last Kiefer Sutherland show where he was the president.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it was called. It was on about 3 or 4 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, apparently it was shot in Toronto because the set of the Oval Office that's used in most movies, the best replica of the Oval Office is actually in Toronto.
That's funny.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So it'd be like, like let's say you're shooting the next Will Smith big, Independence Day type thing, and 3 minutes of the movie is shot in the Oval Office. Well, you just fly a crew into Toronto, shoot that over a day or two, and then you shoot the rest of the movie wherever.
Makes perfect sense.
Lawrence, when I lived in LA, extra work was how most musicians got lunch.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I believe it.
Surprise me.
And yes, Dave from Dave's World of Fun Stuff, he worked in special effects for years. No, it wasn't 24. The name of that show.
I actually think it would. Well, no, 24 was that other series he did.
Oh, Kiefer? Yeah, 24. Yeah, I'm not a big sci-fi fan.
Yeah, I can't remember whatever the other one was. But
Actually, I think it's The Other President. Maybe.
maybe.
I was just
Crowbar
noticing.
says, weren't the musicians serving lunch to Lawrence? Well, half the musicians were working catering, and the other half were eating the catering. Designated survivor. Yes, thank you, Marie.
I was just seen that.
Yes.
I was just noticing that I trimmed my beard to the perfect length today, so my head fits
Well,
in
you
the
see,
box.
yeah, you may have not known at the time, right? But
I didn't. Subconsciously, I knew my beard was going to be out of the shot.
That's the show, North in Canada. Yeah, great movie. Yeah, you can tell again a lot of Canadian. Usually, if you see most of the cast of SCTV in a movie, it's shot in Canada.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Usually, I think you swear you hire them as a group.
Well, they're all pretty much connected because you always see them in the same stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like if you're gonna, cast Eugene Levy as the scatterbrain guy, why not cast Catherine O'Hara as his wife? They've played each other, a married couple in about 20 different movies, and it works.
Oh, that reminds me. One of the
Amanda thinks I might have had a s'mores accident, but no, it was not a s'mores accident. It was a voluntary trimming.
But
I know what you're referring to.
I was just watching a movie on Amazon, and it actually had Eugene Levy, and it had Samuel L. Jackson as an undercover CIA agent, And oh my god, that movie was hilarious.
Oh, no
Eugene
doubt.
Levy is like the best straight man ever, man. He's great.
Levy plays a he's a
And one of the
dental,
hairiest guys I think I've ever seen, too.
dental rep.
Except for
Hey,
Ben.
no. You've seen pictures of him. The guy next to you up there. Freaking
I know. I've seen Ben.
Boner.
Sitting in
Ben
a
is
lounge chair.
literally-
Jam, it's
Gary,
that.
as you were saying that, Gary, Boner Jams puts in the chat, who's hairier, Eugene Levy or Robin Williams?
No. Ben and his
Yeah,
gorilla.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Ben and his
that's a good
gorilla
one. Yeah.
was my pick.
Robin Williams, I think.
Yeah, Boner Jams, that's a tough one. I don't know. That's hard. I'm still going with Eugene Levy, though.
Yeah, I think I might go with Eugene Levy.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he has to shave. When you have to shave, like, the side of your neck, because
Yeah.
you got the man sweater going on.
Yeah, when you have to decide just how far you're shaving down, because it doesn't stop.
When you
Yeah.
could almost hit your eyelashes. Yeah.
I got a friend, Patrick, back home. Patrick Flynn, Irish boy. If he doesn't trim his beard, it literally grows, like, right under his eyes. He's got, bright red fur. He grows the best beard ever.
Yeah, he's still got that caveman gene going on.
Big time.
God,
Must be all the
talking about-
potatoes. All the potatoes and corned beef and cabbage.
Talking about Levy, and it's making me think of the last American Reunion movie, and they finally do his eyebrows, and it's like, yeah, I look sexier now.
The
Somebody says the
unibrow.
brows are basically their own continents.
Yeah.
Unless you have a unibrow,
Unless, yes.
then it's one big continent.
Very true, very true.
I was watching a JHS Q&A a couple of weeks
Oh,
ago.
with the Amazon known as Josh Scott.
I believe that was the one. And
I-
somebody says, well, how come you don't have any eyebrows? And Josh is like, I got eyebrows. You just can't see them. They're blonde. His hair is like really dark, but his eyebrows are blonde. He's like, I got eyebrows. Look.
He said that to me when I was looking at it, because I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, you can't see his eyebrow. He goes, you're looking at my eyebrows, aren't you?
He gets asked about his eyebrows all the time. It's like, I don't get it. The guy builds pedals. Why are you asking
Hey,
about his friggin'
Josh
eyebrows?
will never forget. I'm the guy that stole the fry off his plate at NAMM that one time.
Nice. He's a big dude, too, man. I'd watch out.
I felt like a kid next to him. I was like, jeez.
He's a big fella.
Yeah, he's got to be 6'6". He's taller than
easy.
Greg Talk.
Yeah.
Thing
Did you
is,
see the video of him playing basketball with Paul Gilbert in his yard?
yeah.
And Paul Gilbert's not a little guy either. He's like 6'4". And Josh had
I
at
felt
least
so
3 or 4
short
inches
this
on
year.
him.
I swear, everybody at NAMM was like at least 2 inches taller than me. Like, I'm hanging out with Caleb all day. He's 6'4".
Except for Steve Stein.
Except for Steve Stein. Yeah, Caleb's 6'4.5". I run into Paul Gilbert. He's an Amazon.
Yeah.
China Mike is a big man too.
Really?
He's got to be 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, I've never.
Ole is tall.
He just sent me a
Ole
nice
is a-
letter a couple
Yeah,
weeks
what was
ago.
the Viking though, Terry?
Yeah.
I still remember that. I can't remember who was with me. It might have been Rob Welch from Tesi Switch. Because you go through the first set of doors at NAMM, which is the lobby area with escalators, and there's another set of doors to go into the showroom. And we're trying to get up to the second set of doors, and it's like 4 deep, and they're just all standing around talking. And I'm like, "Make way for Ola!" And he turned. He was saying that.
Oh, that'd be
I
funny.
felt bad when he realized his wife was with him.
Oh. Oh.
Wow. Man.
Hobo Roadie says I'm 5'17".
Yeah, the first time I saw Steve Stein. It was like a thumbnail for one of his videos, and he's holding a Strat, and I'm like, that's
that
a
a bass?
really big Strat. It's like, is that like some kind of weird special custom big bodied Strat? And then like I don't know, it was like maybe a week or two after that, it was like watching NAMM videos, and he's standing next to people at NAMM. I'm like, holy moly! He's always saying he's like a little guy, but it's like.
Yeah.
I didn't know like that little. It's like, holy shit, man, he's tiny.
I see
I'd be
that
afraid
crowbar.
to shake his hand.
Crowbar. Ben is 4'20".
No, he's just 420.
No comment.
You don't need to comment.
No, I don't. It's a given.
Yep.
All right. Or as
Well,
by
we're already
day,
5'17".
well, you know, as I always say, by day 3 of the Nashville trip, when Aaron looked at me, he goes, "What are you, partial plant?"
I'm so old now. I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to shrink.
Young
I'm
Mr.
not as
Radcliffe.
tall as I used to be, as I was like 5 years ago. Alex Radford in the house. What's up, Alex? How you doing?
That was a
bro?
wild man. Jeez, he was everywhere during NAMM. Didn't matter who was live, he's there on camera with them. like, you go for it, yo. Hey, when you're that age, he was doing it perfect.
Yep.
Now we got to get out there, especially now that JJ challenged you, Doug, to a game of cornhole.
Yeah. Well, if you can convince my wife, it'll be fine. Everything will be good.
Yeah, let me go to California with Ben. No.
Yeah.
Let me go to California. No.
Not without a chaperone.
Well, see, the
I have to
problem
get
is-
special permission just for Charlotte.
Yeah, and she's been there. She knows what's going on in Charlotte, but she knows California is a whole other. Well, you know, it's one thing to hang out with a bunch of NASCAR fans. She's like, "You're going to do what? Where? Huh?"
Yeah.
Not at all because of you at all, eh, Ben?
Before in the chat there, Maurice
Skull
DeBert
Tom.
there said about who's the tallest guitarist,
Ooh.
right? So I'm thinking because Robin Fink, who played with Nine Inch Nails there for a bit, he was like a tall, skinny guy. I tried to check. I didn't see how tall he was, but he was tall.
That's a
Tallest
good question.
musician I ever met was Peter Steele. I'm typo negative.
He was a big guy.
20, back when we still lived back home, was like late 90s.
Chris Holmes was big.
Actually, yeah, Twiggy was tall when I met him too. I didn't get
Yeah,
to
I
show the whole CD.
Peter
I don't know.
Steele was at least 6'8" or 6'9", I think.
Like I said,
He was pushing 7 foot.
Does
Well, I
Kiss
met
count
one
when
of
they're
the
wearing their 8-inch heels?
Yeah.
when I met on that street corner in Toronto, I did get, like I said, Marilyn Manson to sign the front of the Downward Spiral. And you can see in the bottom corner, where's it here? So that's what Trent Reznor put. So,
Marilyn Manson, you're gay?
no, the gay superheroes.
Oh, the gay
So
super.
So then the Nine Inch Nails band then did sign the back of it. Right?
That's cool, man.
But see, I was the one that got the front signed by Marilyn Manson, but then let my wife take the CD in to get autographed. I did something else for her brother. So when Trent Reznor seen that, he looks at it. He's looking at it, going like, for like 30 seconds, like he holds up the line. He's looking at it, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he starts going at her for like, "Why are you getting someone else to sign the front cover of my CD?" Right? And I'm sitting there going like, I had no idea who they were at the time. I was like, I didn't know it was the front cover because they both look the same.
Yep.
But
Yeah, thanks, Dogpaw. Yeah, I know Peter Steele was at least 6'7".
And
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dog.
Jim Roots, not exactly.
I shook his hand, and it was like shaking hands with a catcher's mitt. And I'm not a little guy, and my hand like disappeared.
That was,
when I shook his hand.
I had that when I shook Lennox Lewis's hand.
yeah,
Oh wow.
I felt like a fucking infant. Because he's a big guy, but he's got then really big hands for a big guy. Yeah, Doug knows. Like, you probably put loonies through his fingers,
Yeah.
through his rings. Like, you just engulfed my hand. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, he popped in at the gas station I was working at for gas one day.
Wow.
Yeah, Jimmy, I'm sure it was his hand that I was shaking. If he had another couple of bottles of wine in him, he probably would have showed his junk.
yeah. I
He was,
didn't want
he
to
was
think
pretty
about
ripped.
that. I now talk about that. Think about that, which makes me think of like this, probably the freaking craziest show I've been to, which was Maple Leaf Gardens, back early '90s. Marilyn Manson opened up for them. That's when they were on the Ports of American Family tour. So Marilyn Manson opened up. The Jim Rose Circus was after Marilyn Manson. Then 9 Inch Nails came on. So we were down front row in the stands. And I don't know if anyone is familiar with the Jim Rose Circus. Probably everyone is. But they had like that Enigma guy that's tattooed like a jigsaw puzzle. Right? So they do their thing. They come back out. 9 Inch Nails comes on. We were standing up, and my wife feels someone grab her hand, right? And doesn't think anything of it. Looks down, and it's this guy, the Enigma, that's just been on stage eating light bulbs and glass and everything else. Is like holding onto her hand, and she kind of lost it a bit.
No doubt. So Boner Jams, I think this is a mic drop here. First Marilyn Manson album, Portrait of an American Family, is one of Erection Jamboree's top 10 albums of all time. I knew you were all wondering. Rest easy, my friends.
That is one jamboree I do not want to attend.
Okay.
I will decline.
Oh my God, there's a good
John Entwistle. Another tallie.
Yeah.
So Crowbar, I seen them. It was right around that exact same time that I had seen the Jim Rose Circus. They were kind of just
I was gonna say, isn't Nirvana's bassist? Wasn't he like fairly tall too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pretty tall. Yeah, because he wore that Thunderbird and it looked like a Firebird.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say also Ben Shepherd from Soundgarden. He seemed pretty tall.
Haven't met him. Zach Wilde's pretty tall. He's like 6'2", 6'3".
Another Viking, but he's a New Jersey Viking. You got to watch those New Jersey Vikings.
Watch out for those Vikings, period. We're all shifty.
Yeah, there you go. Chris Novoselic, Nirvana, 6'7".
There we go.
Really?
Aaron Cram says, got to hang out with the Enigma at a tattoo expo a few years ago. Interesting guy.
Well, I think all those guys that were shows like that that's your shtick, right? You know,
Exactly.
only guy that I really wouldn't want to hang out with was that Lifto guy that was with them, right? Because anyone who lifts cinder blocks with their
Junk.
Jimmy in
Nether
between, you know,
Nether regions.
yeah,
Without their hands.
yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't need to see that. It's like, how about you play some rock and roll, guys? Just saying. Ben Tome says he was born in Camden, New Jersey, 40% Norwegian. I'm paraphrasing his comments.
Sorry about New Jersey, man.
Saying that, isn't that like in Africa? But I guess that's another show.
Close enough.
Feel the rains down in Africa.
My knees hurt. I married a lady from New Jersey once. Would not recommend.
Must have been at the Flying J truck stop.
This one goes out to all the ladies in New Jersey. Oh, yes,
Cheers,
the
ladies.
lot lizards at the Flying J's. Yep. Yeah, we haven't had that knock on the camper, fortunately, Doug.
No. There was that story that Mike always told, though. Actually, Marshall told that those two brothers that woke up, that they didn't get, they both woke up in the morning like, I didn't sleep at all last night because that woman you brought back, and the other one was saying the same thing. Meanwhile, this woman just found a random tent, went into it, got in between the two brothers, and she was, I guess, sleeping and elbowing and kicking all over the place. Each one thought the other one was going at it with her. And then apparently she just got up, walked out of the tent in the morning, and went with her husband or whatever, a couple tents down.
Hey, we have the awesome and talented Nikki Tedesco in the chat.
Hello, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki.
Hey, Nick.
She's been doing some awesome live streams lately.
Yeah. I've been catching some of it on replay.
Actually, and Ben, I'll announce it here, knowing that you have some people that watch from the UK, Wednesday night on my show, I'll be having UK Cornhole on, talking about cornhole in the UK.
Awesome.
I didn't know it was global.
Oh yeah, it's totally global. I've had on
Cool.
people from like Germany and Sweden and stuff on my show.
Nice.
That's got me now wondering. Then they don't throw bags then in England; they'd be throwing packets,
Tossing packets.
tossing packets, because
Good point, Terry.
they call a
Good
bag
point.
of chips packets.
Packet of
Packets
chips.
Chris.
Well,
Crisps.
Terry, you will have to come on Wednesday night because you're going to be there because you're one of the 4 guys that watch anyway. I got 4 people watching and 3 of them are moderators.
I was going to say, yeah, if anyone wants to know Doug's sense of humor, the first line on Friday night was, "Hey, look at this, a third of my live audience right here on the panel with me."
And there was a 4th in the chat.
No, I feel bad. No, I got to watch. I'm sorry, Doug. I've been remiss in my watching duties.
I have like 4 people watching and 3 of them are moderators. Like the that you have like all like the moderator to regular people watching is pretty high. Come see my show.
Well, at least
trolls in there at all.
Well protected.
My channel's the same way. When I go live, I got a bajillion moderators too. So I know what you're going through.
It's best though. Let's just say I started my channel without any moderators and lasted about a month. And then within about a minute and a half, I had 5 moderators.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got a few of my moderators.
That was talking with you being on the show Friday night.
Boner Jam says, met Jim Root once while I drooled on myself and stuttered for 5 minutes. I noticed he was several inches taller than me.
Yeah, when
and also, folks, rumor has it that there is going to be a Boner Jams t-shirt available.
Whoa. That's
I know I won't.
love you, Boner.
Just thinking about it, I got to pee. I'll be right back.
Well, I hope you do love your boner.
So I don't know, and then I forgot to talk to you about it too, Ben, a couple weeks ago. I know I'd seen someone in the chat mention something about the Gandharvas, and I was wondering if that was the same Gandharvas that are out of London, Ontario.
That'd be them.
Because I'd seen them play once, and they actually weren't that bad. It was just knowing what their style of music is. Opening for a Celtic band at a university was kind of, both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, they used to play the university circuit a lot, as I recall. It seems to me they used to play Loyalist here quite a bit.
Yeah. I know their manager, I believe he was, I think, worked at an HMV here in Wardu.
That sounds about right. That's the Canadian music industry. You can have like videos on Much Music on heavy rotation, and your manager works at an HMV.
Replying to Maurice there, people who play cornhole are called cornhole players. I don't know.
He was super thin, but I've always wondered how tall Johnny Winter was. Yeah, true.
He had to have been over 6.
Seeing that question there from Maurice is kind of like, when people say, what do they call Canadian bacon in Canada?
Bacon? Actually, usually it's what, country style bacon or fried ham?
Oh, yeah, ham.
Yeah, more
That's
fried ham.
ham.
Or pea-meal bacon. Yeah.
Yeah. But usually just bacon.
Yeah. Sort of like, yeah, what do they call Brazil nuts in Brazil? Nuts.
Crowbar. People who play cornhole are called experimenters.
Crowbar is on it tonight.
Uh,
I was going to say, we should probably, do either of us have Crowbar's contact? We need to get Crowbar in on this.
I don't.
You don't, Doug?
I don't think.
I don't think I do.
I don't think I have Crowbar's email either. Assuming that he would want to come on, slum with us. Speaking of tall guitar players, Crowbar.
Yeah.
Big G has my info. Cool. All right. Well, when he comes back, I'll have him send you the link if you want to jump in.
It'd be awesome to have Krell on.
A Royale with cheese and French metric burger. Well, isn't a Royale just a bacon cheeseburger?
Yep.
Or a cheeseburger Royale?
Yeah.
Awesome.
The famous discussion that takes place in Pulp Fiction.
And Boner Jams, I'm holding you to that. He says, "I'll come on when the shirts are done." Perfect. It's like I missed anything in the chat. I think we're caught up. Got 45 people watching. Not too shabby.
Nice.
I know Sunday nights can be busy and hectic. Oh, excuse me.
I was just trying to check and see if I had any other like music stuff here to talk about in here, but I only see one thing, and that's I don't know, Ben, if you remember them. I'm not sure. I'm trying to see if it had a lineup there. No, the original Stardust picnics that Blue Rodeo did here.
Oh, right.
Ooh.
So I was playing a bunch of Blue Rodeo before we went live.
I got the festival poster right here when they were in Guelph. So it was Blue Rodeo, Great Big Sea, 5440, Sarah Sleen, and Guster, which I'm not even sure Guster's together anymore.
They were. I've never heard of Guster.
Yeah, I've never heard of Guster.
And yes, you have, because you've heard their CD because I played it on the way to Charlotte. But anyway, they were a band out of Boston. When I see them, they were just a 3-piece. I think they were a like a college band as well, I believe.
Hey Gary, do you want to grab the link out? Grab the StreamYard link and send it to Krellbar.
Oh, I can try.
No, man, I'm just my usual self tonight.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Doug that I know.
Because I could actually get a word in here tonight. Even like the 3 hours off last night, the other night there, I was still like trying to. I was even texting Ben. I think I'm going to try and get in now.
Well, because we're kind of hanging back. I know Terry, you'll hang back until you got something. You'll jump in with it. But I know Aaron has a tendency to blah, blah. It's like JJ. He goes, "Your buddy Aaron. He's either asleep or he's talking."
Yeah. I think I was like mid sentence, and then he like started in the one time.
Yeah. Yep. That's Aaron.
You hang around with enough people on live streams, you learn where to pick your spots.
Oh,
I don't have a clue what I'm doing.
Like, even my wife was
basically just copy the address out of the address bar, Gary. That's all I do.
I did that, but I don't know if I got an email. I think I don't.
Yeah, he
said
said that you have his contact info, so it's all on you. Tom Harhigh in the text message. This is a great stream tonight, brother. That's right. I'm calling him out on a personal message.
Yeah, even Saturday morning, I get up and my wife is like, "Who were you arguing with last night?" I was like, "What do you mean? I wasn't arguing." She's like, "You were like hollering." I was like, "I was trying to get in the conversation."
Yeah, and then JJ's just JJ. Comes in a mile a minute, and then he was going off to record after we were done talking off air.
Oh, jeez.
I basically went to the next room and passed out. Doug and I texted each other for about 10 minutes. Out.
Yeah, it's like you texted me last night at like 10:30, and I didn't get it till like this morning because I was like asleep by like 10:15.
Yeah, well, that's not a question you have to answer on air.
You know what? I don't even remember it.
There you go, Gary. Crowbar said he'll send you an email again.
Yeah, good idea.
And then you can just...
Because what I'm doing isn't working. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious now that I think about it, if JJ actually did any recording on Friday night, because he'd admit he was pretty messed up when we got off air.
Yeah.
JJ? No, I don't believe that for a second.
JJ doesn't drink as much as he used to, and he had a few shots. Not to mention, whenever he saw his hands like this, you know he was doing something.
Yep. All right, let's try this again.
We went through a lot of weed during that trip. A lot of weed.
Nothing wrong with that.
Braden asks, question for Corn Doug, favorite comedian?
My favorite comedian. That's a tough one.
You know what? You know what comedian reminds me of you the most? Ron White.
Well, yeah, there's that. Well, we had that where we used to listen to that CD like 4 times over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like I got a bunch. I don't really have one favorite because I got some from like a whole bunch of different areas. There's like Ron White. I'm gonna say Buddy Hackett. I'll listen to him, his stuff a lot. Another guy, more political comedy right now. Is it Steve Hofstetter?
Steve Hofstetter's great.
Yeah, I'll sit and watch his videos. Just his when he goes out the audience, I'll sit and watch those videos for like hours.
He deals with hecklers the best I've seen out of any comedian. He can shred a heckler. Oh, he's brilliant.
Ben wants to see it. Ben Thomas, yeah, I think it's going to be coming off soon.
Yeah. It's so bright.
You got to shade that.
Yeah, you got to put your head.
I don't know if I can. It's just because the way my laptop is there.
Yeah, but you're not using the laptop camera.
Yeah. Huh?
It's too much light. You're washing it out.
Yeah, I know. Let me turn the lights off. There we go. You still can't see it. It's still too white. It's like a light right above me.
About 3 inches above.
Like a Canadian snowdrift.
Yeah, there you go. You can see it a bit better.
It's purer than a Canadian snowdrift.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was for a thing that was on the weekend. A Battle of the Big Mouse. I kind of got shut out of that for some reason. It was a tournament for podcast cornhole players.
Yeah, but then they invited you to the next one, and they said, and by the way, Ben's your partner for the next one. And he's like, Christ. You can just see him rolling his eyes. Like, really?
But yeah, so it's it was a podcast out of Boston. I did it to help get behind them, and they finished last, and now they're done their podcast for a while. They had a game in which they did a loser go home game, so they now have to shut their podcast down for a month.
That's what I was actually just going to ask you how that went.
Yeah, it didn't go so.
The bad part is, Terry,
Well,
they held the contest at 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon, and I slept through it.
it didn't help that they started drinking at like 9 in the morning.
That's true. Now, I did make it for RJ's show yesterday morning.
Krell, I still haven't got an email yet, brother.
He's like, he said he sent it to you.
I know. I just looked again. It's not there.
You could always just simply post it in the side chat.
If he wants his email getting out.
I don't care.
No, I meant the link into the... Because you have to...
Yeah, Aaron, my head always glows.
Yeah, till you get the suntan.
Yeah, it's like that.
I wish I still had that one photo. I Doug needed a haircut one year, and so we went over to the local outlet mall for Doug to get a haircut, and there was such a lineup. He said, "Screw it." So I said, "Well, I got clippers."
Got that, and I'm not against anybody, but you have that feeling when you walk into a barbershop, and like every head does like the 180 to look at you, because you're the only white guy in the establishment, right? I want a haircut. Well, I ain't getting any of the haircuts that are happening in there, right? So then we went like everywhere, and I'm like, frick, like, like their Walmarts down there don't have them. Walmarts here all have like places to cut hair. So there's no place to cut hair. So I was like, well, frick it. I guess I have to stick with this. So Ben's like, well, I got my beard trimmer. That was a bad idea.
Well, it wouldn't have been bad if Doug's hair is in such a way that the guard wouldn't allow me to cut the hair, so I had to go guard free and just shave it down to nothing.
Yeah.
And they were nice enough to stop halfway and take pictures.
And when I say halfway, I did the top, so we had the perfect.
I looked like
plate.
I was a skipper from Gilligan's Island. Let's put it
So
that
I
way.
took a photo, and he has this look on his face, like seriously, get the fuck off my lawn face. And I kept that
Actually, it
photo
was on Facebook.
for 2 years. Every time I wanted to pick me up, I just said, "Hey, I need to see this."
Yeah,
And unfortunately, I can't find it on my phone anymore.
well, I have it on my phone because I show it regularly.
Oh fuck! I need a copy.
And my wife was always fine to show it regularly as well too.
Nikki is asking a question. Okay, since we can ask you questions and these guys seem into it, just for your opinion, I'm trying to start a guitar fight. Jimmy, Eddie, Stevie, Brian May, or Joe Perry, and why?
Out of that list, because I'm going to keep it easy, I'll just go stick with that list. I'll go with Eddie, because Eddie changed the game, like Jimmy did, but I prefer Eddie that much more. I'll go with Eddie.
I'm a Joe Perry fan way before I was an Eddie fan, so...
JP Page 2 says, send it to the patrons, Doug.
I'm going with Joe Perry in this one. I know Eddie's Eddie, but I learned from Joe Perry. So
there we go.
In my case, it would be Jimmy, because Jimmy was my first influence to want to play guitar. But in all actuality, if I had to actually put it down to one person, the man who started it all, Mr. Les Paul himself, Lester Paulson.
Blackjack Guitar Nut says, hey, Doug, is the fourth viewer a troll?
You got to go and talk to either Mark or Ben Tom with that one. They can decide.
Yeah, because it's one of them. Yeah, it's usually Terry, myself, Bent Tom, Mark Taft.
Okay, here, just because I'm shameless.
Check this out, folks.
Look, see, it's even too white on the freaking thing.
Now, Terry, isn't that the ultimate pick-me-up photo? When you're having a bad day, you just open that up on your phone?
Oh, it's like Friar Tutt or whatever from like Robin Hood.
Well, you can understand why I had to stop and take a photo, because I was dying. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. Like, this is priceless. And the worst part is, after I shaved his head, and we did that was like, what?
And my hair was long.
Yeah.
all right, Jim, you should have it. I just got your
We
email.
had
so you
people
should
walking
have
by the campsite asking, did you guys, like, sacrifice an animal here or something?
Because
That's right, Friar Tutt. That's right. Thank you.
yeah, someone thought we, like, killed a gray squirrel and, like, left as a sacrifice because there was not enough wind to blow all the tufts of hair away, and we didn't feel like cleaning it up on the ground. So it was just all the white hair around
And the guy that came,
trailer.
the guy that came to cut the grass really didn't like it either. He was like, "What the hell is this?" But here's another guy that's huge. That he's not a musician, but I did get to meet him. The Wild Bill from what's that stupid show now? The Crab Show.
Deadliest Catch?
No, Deadliest Catch. That guy is huge. He devoured my hand when I talked to him, when I seen him. Or my camera's all fucked up again. But yeah, I was like, frick. And I've met him twice.
There he is.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Can never be too careful. I'm only 2 feet from the screen, so.
Pleasure
Hey,
to meet you,
compliment
Pearl
you.
Doc.
Yeah,
You look-
welcome
you
to the
look-
show.
You're much more handsome now.
Welcome to the shoe.
You should wear that all the time, bro.
Don't make me say go get your shine box.
Yeah, I was saving it up.
Yeah.
I'm saving it up for later.
Hang on for a second. I just got to pop out the chat. Yeah.
And then, Ben, here's another picture that I don't know if you've talked about it here, about in Charlotte. I don't know if people can see it.
Hang on.
There. So that's been sitting in the bathroom since, like, what, 2000?
13.
What year Richie went down? Was it 12 or 13?
2013.
You sure?
Yep.
Because our first year was 2011.
Yeah. Then the next year brought the girlfriend down. The next year we brought Richie down.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's been
So
sitting
that
in the men's bathroom. It's the
yeah. Rich had just released an album from his band, the Vatican Assassins, and so we each had our own stall we would use at the bathhouse all the time because you're going there about 10 times. No, it was a joke, Mark. Mark saying, "Please forgive me, my interruption. I'm no true. Awesome show.
No.
Thanks." No. It
I
was a
don't
joke.
have any polls. Any person is
Yeah, we haven't had any problems in Doug's chat. No, it was a joke,
No.
buddy.
So that's a sticker for the Vatican Assassins. So try putting that on a bathroom stall in North Carolina. in the
Which
Bible
is the belt buckle of the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
No, jeez.
I got some assholes shooting off fireworks like across the street. Loud as fuck. Sorry.
So what's new?
Well, I finally get to meet Crowbar.
Yo, Ben
Yo, good meeting,
and
man.
Doug and Gary. I see him all the time, and Terry. I see him. Too.
No, Mark's going to head out. So we'll see you, Mark.
Later, Mr. Taft, take care, man.
So you're talking about favorite comedians. I think Don Rickles. is,
Yeah.
Gary, we were talking about this before, and recent ones, Bill Burr.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I was
Kermit,
just joking with these guys off air that I've been binge listening to Bill Burr's podcast, the Monday morning podcast. And nobody can do an ad read as well as Bill Burr. I listen to the ads with him, first of all. But the problem is, I was telling these guys, and Doug knows, like most mornings, I get up, I check my channel analytics, and I answer comments, right? So I have my morning coffee, and the problem is, Crowbar, I'm going through the analytics, right? And it tells you what videos are doing well. I got Bill Burr is that voice in my head. If you do a few more of those Gibson videos there, your channel might take off again. And then calls me a C word.
Hey, Ben, you can call me Jim if you want.
Jim.
It's one less syllable. And I think it's commonly known what my first name is. So.
I did not know that.
I always thought it was Krell.
Hey, you can call me Krell. You can call Gary uses 2 syllables. Jimbo.
Jimbo. What's up,
Excuse me,
Jimbo?
Mr. Ba.
Or Jimmy. I give everybody nicknames.
Yeah, Aaron Cram says Jonathan Winters. That was Robin Williams' biggest inspiration.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I saw somebody mention George Carlin earlier. Definitely George Carlin.
George Carlin, right? His younger humor, I had bits that I liked, but I found some of it kind of silly. Where I really got into it, and a lot of people kind of lost him at this point, was when he got a little more
Political.
Yeah. He did it in a very wise way, but he did it in a very clever way.
Yeah.
And he had me rolling on the floor.
I think part of that for him was because of the taxes. He was doing a new hour on HBO every year, so he had to write a new hour every single year for. Christ, it was about 15 years he did that. And I think
that's why he had. That's why he had all those specials.
Yeah. But I was telling Jim the other week. My wife and I saw Don Rickles at the Work Musical Theater. It was in the round, and Buddy Hackett's kid opened up for him.
Oh, nice.
And he was hysterical too. But as soon as Don Rickles walked in, I mean,
chased the blue hairs out.
The whole crowd was blue. Me and my wife were probably the youngest people in the crowd back then. Everybody was like, it was just a sea of white and blue hair. Within 5 minutes of Rickles coming on stage, the 2 front rows left because he was just like filthy, raunchy. Oh my God. We're like wetting our pants laughing, and people are just getting up in droves. It's like, that's not what we saw on Johnny Carson. He wasn't like that on Johnny Carson.
We want the Dean Martin roasts.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't think there's any real comedians I don't like. Right? Like I like just so much different stuff. If there's even like a Canadian guy, Ron James here, I'll listen to him all the time as well too.
Yeah, and he's very clean. He's got, I would say Ron James, because of the variety of media he's done, he's Canada's Jay Leno in many ways. He's been around forever and a day. Consistent, clean comedy, like Brent Butt, another great Canadian comedian.
Amanda brings up Mitch Hedberg. He was great.
Mitch
Bill Hicks.
And Bill Hicks. They were both
Bill
great.
Hicks, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, Randy said the same thing.
Bill Hicks was a guitar player as well.
That's
was
true.
he? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Died when he was 33, stomach cancer.
Yeah.
Then Dennis Leary stole his act.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I still like Dennis Leary. He's a little.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the guy's name. David Tell.
Mm.
Oh, David Tell's great.
Insomniac. That was such a great show.
That show was great.
Like the Sandman in the sack.
And he'd get hammered during that show too, man. He was
one of the funniest things, because I'm in Rhode Island. There was the one where he went to Amsterdam, and he went to this place, I think it was called the Gray Zone, and there was this guy there running. Apparently, it was the place to get the weed in town, and the gray area, Gray Zone, I can't remember. But then he says, "You don't have an accent. Where do you come from?" And he's like, "Oh, Tiverton, Rhode Island." Some guy from Tiverton, Rhode Island, packed up shop, went to Amsterdam, opened up the best pot shop in Amsterdam.
Nice.
Yep. Good
Dave Attell was hilarious. It's like, hey, you want me to tell you a story? Pass me that glue.
Yeah. Exactly.
Artie Lang was good too. Back before he got really trashed.
Man, now he's just funny looking.
Yeah.
His nose caved in.
Not an attractive man.
A lot of people don't like Norm Macdonald, but I love the way he deadpans.
Norm is fully insane. That's the thing with Norm Macdonald.
Oh, yeah.
He's insane.
I'll agree. And I got to give kudos to Steve Martin, because he was influential growing up. And he's a very funny guy. And if you watch the stuff from the 70s, it was funny then. I watch it now and I go, wow, that's kind of stupid. But it was different for the time. Yeah. But, he turned out to be a great comedic actor and do genuinely funny bits all through his career. So,
you know who the king of deadpan was? Stephen Wright.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. It was all deadpan.
He was the king of deadpan. Oh,
no local guy. I tell you, the best comedy comes out of Boston.
I
have to. Yeah.
And I'm not just being
that generation. That in the '80s, Boston was putting out everybody.
Oh yeah, Burr comes from Boston.
Leary.
Dennis Leary. I came from Worcester. Now I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, me too. One of the best comedy shows we ever saw in Providence, Jim, was Kevin Meaney.
Oh yeah, you're a big fan of his.
I never laughed so hard in my life, I don't think.
I think I have to revisit his stuff, because the stuff that I tuned into kind of grated on my nerves.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there was more to it. I saw the mainstream Kevin Meaney. And
the big pants people. We're big pants people.
He tried like hell. If you remember, great movie, John Candy, Uncle Buck. They tried making a TV series with Meaney as the John Candy character. And bless him, he was the best part of the show. He was, but they told him to play John Candy. Yeah, and he did his best. and no one could play John Candy, but it was still a good effort on his part.
Yeah, see, I only remember the reboot they did with Mike Epps, and I went, you know what? If you're going to reimagine it with a black guy, Mike Epps could play Uncle Buck.
So another guy that's good out of New England, I think he's out of Mass, is Bob Marley.
Oh yeah, he's usually on the local radio show.
Yep.
Well, Gary on WAF when it was still around.
Yeah.
He used to be a regular guest on Hillman's.
And he goes on the one Cornhole podcast out of the Boston area. He goes on them with them. Well, I guess he's doing a show in Boston at a drive-in theater. Mm-hmm. At Boston.
Oh, nice.
So everyone's gonna pull up at a drive-in, and he's just gonna do his show.
That's cool.
At a drive-in.
Nice.
Yeah, and Frank Santarelli's another one. He was on The Sopranos. Yeah. He's friends with my friend Matt. I graduated with. Matt is a very intelligent guy and stuff. He just had some tragedy in his life, whether it was family tragedy and himself. He ended up getting paralyzed. He ended up becoming a paraplegic comedian. I went to go see a stand-up with him local in town when he visited back. He lives in California. And he was genuinely funny. He was always a funny kid, too. And, I know maybe you could probably look him up. It's Matt Malley.
Okay.
A little redhead Irish kid. And, and when I saw him, he was hilarious.
Nice. Funny enough,
Yeah,
before we went live, pretty funny. To tie in the whole comedian thing, I was actually watching comedy reaction videos before going live. Just giving myself a break from guitars. I'm like, yeah, let's watch some it was some of the sets of some of my favorite sets, but I'm like, I'll watch a reaction video because I know what Bill Burr is about to say, but they don't.
Right.
I love Bill Burr's the last of the politically incorrect comedians. He's I like Dave Chappelle too, though he gets rated higher than what he should be. I mean, Rolling Stone just had that top 100 list, and they put Chappelle in the top 10. I don't see him being in the top 10, not with all the comedians of all time.
Right.
But I liked his last comedy special. It had some dead spots, but he attacked the whole political correctness thing dead on. I appreciate it for that. And same thing with Bill Burr, because look, you know, you look at Bill Burr, and someone in the chat once says, I remind them of Bill Burr, you know, because I'm a Massel. You know, I'm from this area. You know, it's like
you sound like him a little bit.
Yeah, someone said that. You know, we have this nonchalant way of dragging and talking and stuff like that up here. And I didn't realize how bad my accent had gotten until I went on Hack's show that one time and I watched a replay. And I go, oh, man. Yeah, I really sound local. But
you sound like my wife, Jim. My wife still sounds like that. We've been down here 23 years, and she's still.
All right, I'm going to have to debate Maurice on this one. First of all, I got to say a shout out to Driddle. Oh, hey, Driddle. Good to see you.
What's up?
Maurice DeBert says, funniest storyteller is Bert the Machine Kreischer. I'm sorry, but Joey Diaz has better stories.
Oh, yeah, Joey Diaz.
Yo, because there's a guy that's got how many hours of stand-up, and they're all legit, real, true stories.
Yeah,
his prison stories are great.
Oh, yeah.
So we were talking about this last night on Brian's channel. Joe Rogan going to Spotify. And I had just heard yesterday that he was going to Spotify. That's how
$100 million deal.
And, you know, I didn't know the total implications from it until Six String Brian told me about it. And it's like, exactly. Everyone's thinking about what the next big video thing's going to be, video thing. It's like, no, hell, a lot of these are just video podcasts that are making all the money.
Yep.
So, screw you, YouTube. We're going to friggin' Spotify.
Yeah, I'm curious. So does that mean Spotify is going to video as well as audio then? Because the way he said it was...
next step. That's the next step.
Well, because he's like, oh, I'm going to Spotify. I'm like, yeah, but I like watching as much as listening to Rogan.
See, now...
He's like, you don't worry, YouTube viewers. And I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. That's immediately popped in my mind. Guess what? The biggest thing keeping a video service from getting off the ground to compete with YouTube was, money and backing and stuff. And it's like, why not have one of these, music services, podcast service, whatever you want to call Spotify, music streaming services, have them take on these video people and exactly. And you know what? That's what the future is. Yeah. You know what thing is? If I had money to invest, I'd put it in Spotify.
Yeah. ZD351 says Spotify already does video. I didn't even know that. But yeah, that is interesting.
I didn't know either because I go on Spotify like once every year.
I subscribe to Spotify. I pay like my $9.99 a month, and I've had it for years. I love
No,
it.
I just get the free one, and I listen to recordings of songs that aren't the original all the time. That's
right.
You know,
I used to listen to Spotify at the last job I had. They always had it playing. It was funny because they're like, I forget what it was. One of the first days I worked, they were playing like a classic rock playlist. And like there was some stuff coming on the playlist that even me going, I don't feel comfortable playing Motorhead for the little old lady coming in. You know, it depends. You know, like you can get away with it, but when it's one of their, you know, it's more their, let's call them Kiss-based lyrics, you know, very suggestive lyrics or something. And I'm just like, that's a little much. But they're like, the boss is just like, hey, if it's on Spotify, you can play it. I'm like, all right. Well, all they ever did was bring up genre, rock, play, you know, type thing. I was like, screw that. So I'm playing any playlist I can find on Spotify. And they're like, so apparently you're listening to a lot of Skinny Puppy at work yesterday. I'm like, yep. What about it? It's on Spotify.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Speaking of playing music at work, me and my girlfriend went to a Mexican restaurant probably like 4 years ago. And it's a couple towns over. And we're sitting there eating, and the background music, we're at lunchtime, and it's rap. Yeah, I go, okay, well, that's fine. It was filthy rap that was playing.
Oh, gee.
And I'm like going, are you kidding me? It's like, you know,
like NWA in the background.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, I'm not a Bible thumper by any means.
Yeah, well, that was
religious guy. But the thing is, it's like I told the waitress, I go, you know, what the hell are you playing here? You know, it's like in the people there, you see someone look up at the speakers, and no one has the balls to tell them.
I don't speak English. I don't know what it means.
You know, ixnay on the music. You know, it's like.
What were you gonna say there, Doug?
The one time you and I were at that Leaf game.
Yeah.
In Toronto, we're at the Air Canada Centre, and we go to walk into their shop where you can buy other merchandise, and I kind of stopped. I looked at Ben. I was like, "Seriously?" They were playing Nine Inch Nails Closer, the uncut version.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. Well, and I remember now. It wasn't Motorhead when little ladies came in. Every time they would come in, and they were once been smoking 40 years, wanted to get into vaping. Okay, fine. They're going to be in the store half an hour. Nothing but Rage Against the Machine. I was like, really? Like, really? You know, like.
And then really, too, like, I kind of always joke, like, thankfully the guy survived, but I always joked that I was at the Leaf game the one time, and across the rink from me, some guy had a heart attack, right? So they're trying to work on him, and then the DJ, whoever they have for their games, whatever they want to call them, starts playing U2. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. As they're freaking working on the guy doing CPR. Right, that's the guy next to me, and I was like, "This song, really?"
Yeah.
Right? But then later on in life, you start taking like first aid courses and that's like, if you want a song to do CPR to, that's the one, because that's the beat for doing CPR.
Well, hopefully they didn't, as his wife was going out to see what was happening, they didn't play I Will Follow.
Yeah.
Hey, getting back to the other thing, oh, geez, I can't picture eating a Cornish game hen while Closer's on. You know, I want to F you like an animal while I've got my
fuck
knife
you like an
fork.
animal, right?
I may start looking at the back end of that Cornish game hen differently.
Hey,
I
we've
want
got
to feel you from the inside.
we've got Robot Master Switch joining in, and Absolute Mayhem is here. Awesome.
What's up, boys?
And I did see Brian Landreth was going, this is awesome marathon show. Yes, so next week will not be quite as long due to the limited hours I have on StreamYard. And we kind of went long on Friday night, but I don't care. You know, I figure we'll go 3 hours tonight anyway, so why not?
Sweet. I am ready for the marathon. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, here's my.
I'm going to top up here in a sec.
Water.
Yeah. Brewed locally in Worcester.
Nice. What are you drinking there, Jim?
Polar seltzer in many
Oh.
fine flavors. But they
I
make
thought it was
the best
something
birch.
good.
They make the best birch beer, Diet Birch beer.
Man,
Dave
I've
on
been
Dave's
birch beer
Guitar
forever.
Channel loves that stuff too. And they make an awesome golden ginger ale made with real ginger.
They still got any A&W root beers up there, Jim?
Yeah, they're right a couple towns over in Greenville. That A&W is still open on Route 44.
We got one that's like within 2 hours of me in Florida, but it's like I don't like it that much.
All right, hit a couple things
I
here.
am eating there in 30 years. So
We got ZD351 says, I took my ex's 7-year-old son to a birthday party at Indoor Climb Center. They played Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry. I went and told the staff what the lyrics were. The panic faces were hilarious.
Nice. That's a great. I love that song too, man. I love that song.
And
to play
after
that
saying hello to us, Robot Master Switch says, I snatched up a Jackson Gus G Star. I traded some crap in for it. Fuck you.
Nice.
I want one of those so bad. I'm
Oh
joking.
yeah, Ben, my Jason Becker sold this past week. I
Oh,
put it up on Reverb. So
nice.
yeah, I'm trimming down my guitars. I was at 38. Now I'm down to 32. I'm trying to get down to 20.
Well, that's what happens whenever we hear about, Steve from Boston's like, oh, the guitars that got away. I'm like, yeah, how many went to Crowbar? Yeah.
Yeah. 3 or 4. I can't remember. I got his 88 Radius, which was basically the first Satriani model, unofficial. Satriani. Has a nice chunky neck instead of a Wizard. I wanted that when he was selling that. I said, if it was any of the other Ibanez, I'd got Ibanez, but I wanted that one. The other one I got was the Diamond Hailfire.
Oh, right.
And then I got the one he made his first video with, the Ibanez Artist, 1980.
Nice. Jimbo, if you're getting rid of stuff, man, email me. Let me know what you're selling.
Yeah, okay.
I'm always looking for shit, man.
I
Okay,
guess
Doug.
if I have boxes to send stuff in. But.
So Doug has to head out.
Yep.
We have some stuff going on outside of this hangout. So
Yeah.
all good. Fill me in later.
What I got 2 things that just got messaged. One, some guy from Maine wants to have like a online cornhole game against me,
Okay.
and then one's another thing I got to deal with. But yeah,
How do you do that online?
just like there's a couple different games you can play. Like there's a ghost cornhole game, which is you're playing against a imaginary partner, and then another one is called you do like a deck round. So you throw your 4 bags, right? Do it 10 ends, and you got to score out of 120.
Oh, okay.
So, but this guy's like a pro, and I know that I wouldn't have a chance of winning it all anyway. So
I played not to keep you on too long, I played a bastardized game of that like 20 years ago. Yeah, with it was like my friend made this thing with they were flat boards with the hole in it, and he used these giant washers.
Yep.
And he would like tie a ribbon to each one for different teams, and they weren't as far apart as cornhole.
Yeah.
And I think maybe he heard about cornhole when he just came up with that. I have no idea, but we were playing that camping trip like 20 years ago.
But no, you know what? It's I make fun of it myself too, right? Like it's I really as long as you're ever talking about it, I really don't care. Right? Like I make fun of myself playing because I went down to North Carolina and I got beat up by like a 7-year-old Mennonite lady. It wasn't fun. But yeah.
All right.
I
Well,
might
yeah.
start
Fill me in on
I'll
that.
start a croquet channel.
Fill me in on that development from the team there, Doug.
Crotchet channel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone,
Catch you later, Doug. Nice meeting
channel,
you.
Down and Back with Corn Doug.
Doug, take care, buddy.
Tag him in the channel here. So check out his channel, folks. Live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And he does a pre-recorded podcast that's out every Friday morning.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure.
I am going on Spotify, not getting 100 million. Well, I'm trying to go on Spotify. They're not going to pay me anything. But yeah, it's okay. See you later.
Okay,
Cheers,
catch you
buddy.
later, Doug.
Hey.
Later, Doug.
Nice.
And then there was 4.
Yes, now that he's gone.
Bocce.
Apparently there were some developments in the race, and he got a text from one of the race teams. So
Oh,
Oh.
So that's why I was like, fill me in. I don't know what's up, good, bad, or otherwise, because I don't want any spoilers, folks, if you're watching in the chat. But yeah, for a couple Canadian boys, we're a little tied in with the NASCAR community.
You're not getting any from me. I'm not a big race fan. Though
Yeah,
I
all
used
right.
to like going to the races and being there because, you know, it's an atmosphere thing. It's just
Exactly.
like I can't sit and watch a baseball game, but if you're drinking beers and hang with your buddies,
Yep.
you know,
Seacock Speedway, the action track of the East there, Jimbo.
yeah, that is one of the smallest tracks.
It's an 8-mile oval, Ben.
Nice.
Yeah, it's almost a circle.
Yeah.
My
much.
uncle used to race down there.
Me and my cousin used to race. We used to call it the toilet bowl. It was like a toilet bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was like an 8-mile oval, Ben, if you can imagine that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, I thought quarter miles were short.
No, there was no straightaways to speak of.
Well, what is Thompson? A mile?
Half.
Yeah.
Half mile?
I think it's only half.
Yeah,
I haven't been there in a while.
Stafford was like 3/4, I think.
Yeah, Thompson is like, I mean, on a calm summer night, I can actually hear the races from here.
Oh wow.
As the crow flies, it's like 3
That's
or 4
that's
miles.
the one thing. Well, not that there's any racing going on around here right now, but at the last place I lived at, I lived about 6 miles from the local dirt track. So every Saturday night, you wouldn't hear it all the time, but if you got the windows open, when there's a pause watching a movie or something, there's quite a lot of in the background. I'm like, all right, yeah, the boys are running. Or especially the sprint cars were in town. You always knew when sprint cars were in town. You could hear that.
Yeah. We don't have any dirt tracks in Florida, man. It's weird. You'd think there'd be a ton, but there's like none.
Used to.
It's mud.
We do a lot of mud.
Yeah,
And we do we got Naples Motorsports Park where they do the swamp buggy races.
And they all listen to country rap.
That's the don't get me started look.
Yeah.
Night, Amanda.
CSS,
Good night, Amanda.
See you, Amanda.
love you
Take care,
too.
girl.
Excuse me. Yeah, I might as well have
Actually,
another-
I chased her away. She saw me and just ran out of the chat.
No, you took your mask off, dude.
Oh, yeah, exactly. She was digging the skull face and then.
Then we
took
get
the
the real
mask.
deal.
Ben Tom, hashtag bro country.
Yeah, that's right. That's the name that. God, what's happened to music today? I mean, it's like,
No, man.
you know, even in like the early 80s, he didn't like everything, but I mean, there was such variety
Yeah.
and there was still good music coming out.
I was going to say, and you could still respect it, even if you weren't into it. You could still respect it in many ways. Like, I wasn't into disco, but I really appreciated disco when what we would call dance music came out in the early 90s, because all of a sudden I'm like, wasn't this the same as disco? Except you'd see the old disco bands, and they'd have, sure, 3 or 4 singers singing and dancing out front, but then there's a 9-piece orchestra basically playing that shit live, and you're like, oh, goddamn, okay.
Yeah, but there was no disco song saying "short, short man."
Well,
I don't think it's really short, man.
Here's the thing with disco. Disco was just overproduced, but there were a lot of well-written songs.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was all over pop produced. But, I mean, there were some killer musicians. I mean, Larry Carlton's on Saturday Night Fever album.
Exactly.
A lot of tunes. Now it's just like play some computer beats and it's yo, 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 pop a cap in your ass. You know?
Yeah. Look at my
Pop it
boat.
in the booty.
Look at my boat. Look at my Lambo.
See, now, I like some rap. And the way I always thought about rap music was, I thought of it as like a rhythmic musical tool. I mean, I remember when Blondie did it in Rapture in the middle.
Oh, God.
I always thought that's how it should be used. You know, when Debbie Harry. I mean, it's like you have a song and you can rap in the middle of it. 24/7 Spies. I always love 24/7 Spies.
Sure.
Like they do a couple of Jungle Boogie, and then they put a rap in it, and it works so perfectly. but base a whole genre on it and just listen to it all the time. It's like for the last 35 years, it's been boom, 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 boom. It's like,
well, plus back in the day, it was harder to make. Like these guys were, literally trying to mix in vinyl. They're doing their own loops because there was no loop machine. Now you just program it all in, bippity boppity boo. It's like shopping at a grocery store. I want this, I want this, I want this. Pick your ingredients. But back then, you had guys that were listening to vinyl. Okay, another guy's writing some lyrics to put over top of it. Prior to the copyright laws that came in the late 80s, when guys were sampling all the great music. So the music itself was still great because they take your best, great Marvin Gaye hook or some James Brown and mix that stuff together. And then the guy's putting out some lyrics over top of it. It was great stuff.
All right,
I remember
Ben Tom just asked me a question. You can bring it up if you want. I don't want to read it.
Well, I can.
It wasn't necessarily better, Tom, but it was definitely furrier.
I was going to say.
We put it that way.
I can't answer that question. In 79, I was 11 years old. If I was getting some in 1979, I was doing pretty well.
I was going to say, you'd be the man.
But I wasn't.
But
I was born in 74, so I wouldn't know.
The hedges needed to be trimmed back in the 70s. I can tell you that much.
I was an arcade whiz kid in 79. That's what I was.
The natural growth forest, Gary?
Yeah, to say the least. With no assistance, no trimming.
Yeah, you had to make sure you didn't see the tree through the forest.
Yeah, it was. You had to dig. You had to dig for it back then, man.
The afro was very popular in the 70s.
This is
in more ways than one, Terry.
That's right.
And hello and welcome, Landshark Mark, new name in the chat.
Landshark Mark.
Says back in the 50s, orchestra guys were saying, what? These rock and roll guys making these crappy records with just a guitar, bass, and drums? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My favorite rap album of all, my favorite rap album of all time is the first LL Cool J album. I couldn't survive without my radio. My
girlfriend likes LL Cool J. And I like LL Cool J, too.
His first album is the quintessential rap album.
Going back to Cali.
I was listening to...
No, that's not the first one. That's like 516.
Okay, Mama's Gonna Knock You Out. Which one's that?
That's like way before that. I couldn't survive without my radio.
Check
yeah, the original
album was like in 86, wasn't it?
No.
LL Cool J?
84,
no,
5?
84.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually had it on vinyl.
Wow, on vinyl.
Because I played that, and then I'd play like Master of Puppets like right after that. And they'd be like, what the fuck are you listening to, man?
Oh, we were our own mixtapes back then, right?
And I'd play like
we were saying earlier, there's so much good stuff out there. You could sit there, like I remember listening to, like you say, Master of Puppets, then I'd throw on some Public Enemy, then I'd throw on some Guns N' Roses, and then, you know what, I might throw on a Duran Duran album. You know?
Some Talking Heads, Ramones.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
Gary, we're both wrong. It was 85, split the difference.
85,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take
LL Cool J radio.
I remember it was when I was in senior high school, so it was probably at the end of the year.
Phenom 97, Bigger and Deffer 87.
Well, I was always big into Beastie
Walking with the Panthers. Yeah. Beastie Boys is something I always have on my Spotify.
Terry
Beastie Boys album always got better and better as they moved along. I mean, the original Licensed Ill, and then early 90s was Paul's Boutique.
Paul's Boutique was a big...
Love Beastie Boys.
That was a very great one.
Adam D was just here a little while ago, wasn't he? Adam D? Wasn't he from the Beastie Boys?
Biker chicks from any era are the best, someone said. Well, the glorified ones that you see on TV,
I married one, so.
Chicks, it's like, there's hot ones, and I see lots of biker chicks, too, that are bigger than the bikes they ride on.
My wife got more tickets on my Harley than I did. And I'm going to leave it at that. My wife's a maniac.
Because unlike his wife, Gary's willing to show his tits to get out of a ticket.
Can we go back to the fur conversation about the hair thing?
Actually, we have a little hippie in here asking me to pinch my nipples, so we're good.
That was my
God for that.
That was my first set of live boobs when I was 16. Was a biker chick. It was at a place like literally like a 2-minute walk from here. A place we used to play, and this guy Al, he was a biker, an older biker. He had a girlfriend named Kitty.
Nice.
And he came up. I was 16. I was road crewing for a band there, and he goes, Jimmy. He says, "You see that girl, Kitty? You think she's attractive? You think I say, well, she's your girlfriend. You know." It's like he goes, "You want to see her boobs?" It's like he didn't say boobs, but it's like, and so he says, "Well, tell them to play a slow song, and I'll get her out and dance." Sure enough, got her shirt off, and she was hanging.
Ah, okay. Land Shark Mark is Mark Taylor.
Boobs.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Well, Ben, I said it that way because I was being coy, because I wanted to say the T word, but I don't know how clean this channel has to be.
We're into we're 2.5 hours in. We're okay. We're okay.
Fuck it.
I know how to play the YouTube game. I will say, let's see. I was 18 years old at Bike Week 1993. Yes, I was still 18 years old and 500,000 bikers descending on Daytona Beach. So, and you could get into the bars at 18, right? You couldn't drink until you're 21, but you can get into the bars in Florida at 18 for some reason. I guess for designated drivers, and so I did see a lot.
There was a time drinking age was 18 in Florida. I went on a band trip to, we marched at Disney World in 85. So it must have been 85. I was drinking at that hotel when I was 18. There wasn't anyone that could say it. Music teacher comes up and he goes, "Oh, I see you got a beer there, Jay." I go, "Well, I'm old enough." You know, it's like, so I sat and had a couple beers with them.
But were they showing their tits, Jim? Disney World.
Yeah, Minnie kind of gave me a little free show.
Oh, nice. I was more like Cinderella,
you know
but
what?
I'll go with Minnie.
Why is it that Donald Duck can run around bare ass, but Daisy has to wear a dress? You know, that's inequality right there.
No, Terry, I've not been to Sturgis. I've been to Laconia, I've been to Daytona a bunch of times, but I've never been to Sturgis.
What's that, Ben?
I just got a message from Doug. Apparently, it's actually okay with the race team. I was like, okay, good.
Cool. Nobody wrecked or anything, or.
Well, it's possibly that somebody wrecked because he won't give me a spoiler. But if they did, it wasn't a bad one.
Okay, good.
Because we have some friends that work for Joe Gibbs Racing. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So like, it's interesting. Like they're one of those shops. Like you can go on the tours, but they have like either roped off areas or like Gibbs. It's almost like they have an enclosed glassed-in balcony where you can look down over the shop floor.
Right.
Whereas, I think the last time I was up there, our friend, we met up with her at the airport in Concord. She's like, okay, let's go up to Huntersville, check out the shop. We're leaning on the race cars out on the shop floor. Like, I'm like, can I turn a bolt? Just so I can say I turned the wrenches on a race car. They're like, you can do whatever you want. Like, we had free reign. Like I'm walking in the haulers and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, that's the car from Saturday night," because it was between the two races when we were down there. So it's like, blah blah blah, and I'm checking out stuff. And Doug's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Because I'm right down on the floor checking out the specs of the cars, having worked on race teams." And he's just like, "Okay." He's like, "You're full nerding out?" Like, "Yep." And I asked in advance. I was just like, "So, do we have to dress up? Because some of these places you have to wear a shirt with a collar, long pants, whatever." And she's like, "What are you thinking?" I'm like, I packed mostly stage wear for that trip because I was already kind of looking the way I do, and it allowed me to get into. So I wore stage wear. People are looking at me like, "Who's that guy?" Because all of a sudden you see this long-haired guy wearing stage wear walking around the shop floor. Oh, he must be in town. Great.
You weren't wearing spandex, were you?
No, a sleeveless bowling shirt with cargo shorts and Converse All-Stars, your classic middle-aged 80s rocker look when off stage.
As long as there wasn't any like zebra spandex involved or something.
No,
That's cool.
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
one
was
thing.
wearing the same thing when I wandered and ended up backstage at the Skinner pre-race show. Because they're just like, oh, he looks like he's with the band. Just walk right in. I had a pit pass. I didn't have a backstage pass.
Sometimes it doesn't matter.
No, you just look the part, right?
Just act like you fit in. Act like you belong there, you know?
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, us talking gear 24/7 doesn't hurt.
That's the key to everything in life. If you're in a situation you're unsure of, you act like you own the freaking place.
Yep.
And,
I always look like a security guy. That's how I get backstage.
80% of the way there.
Exactly.
I always looked like I was part of security, so they always kind of like never gave me any crap, you know? It's like
All I remember is I
guy.
cut through a fence to take a shortcut because I didn't feel like walking all around through the garage area at the race to get out to the front stretch. I thought I can cut through this little fence area and save about 3/4 of my trip. Next thing you know, I'm backstage looking at Ricky Metlock's 58 Explorer, drooling, you know.
I told you that I got to touch that guitar, right?
No.
I didn't tell you that story?
No.
Oh, wow.
I told
What?
somebody's show the other night.
I got
My
within 5
friend-
feet of it.
My friend Russ Ritchie, who owns RB3 Pedals, who will be on me and Sandra's show probably in a couple of weeks,
Nice.
was the tour manager for Outlaws
Oh.
for like the last 3 years. And he had Ricky's Explorer, the 58, at his shop doing some work to it. And I went in there to drop off one of my guitars. And it's like, he walks up to me, he's like looking back and forth, he's like, know what I got? I'm like, what? He goes, I got Medlock's Explorer in the back. You want to see it? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah.
In the back, takes it. It was in a road case, you know, beat up fucking road case, and it was it. And he goes, "You want to touch it?" I'm like, can I play it? He's like, no, but you can touch it if you want with one finger. I'm like,
Now, is that a Carina Explorer?
Yep.
yeah.
I always said if I were to buy a Gibson, it'd probably be a 76.
And Russ was actually there because Russ was putting the tremolo back on it.
Okay.
Because he had a hardtail for a long time. It had a tremolo, took that up, put the hardtail on, and he was putting the tremolo back on.
Well, see, and that's
I
the funny part.
I got to touch that guitar.
Because,
He's
you know,
like, "Don't
Ricky had been in and out with Skinnerd on and off over the years. My first thought was, because I was already half in the bag, because it's like 4 in the afternoon on race day. So I'm wandering, I end up backstage, I'm like, I see the Explorer, and my first thought is, oh shit, Ricky's back with the band. Cool. You know, and then that's it. Oh, that's it. And then security's like, are you supposed to be here? I'm like, I'm pretty sure I am.
Kind of.
I don't
He's kind of
know.
a hard guy.
You should just say, I'm here, aren't I?
He's kind of a hard guy to get along with, from what I understand.
Yeah.
He's
I
not
got
the
to
friendliest
get
guy.
to talk with Gary Rossington after the set. That was pretty cool. For about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. That was really amazing. So
Yeah, Ricky's a little standoffish, from what I understand. So.
yeah. Yeah,
I
and
got to
it
touch
was
that guitar,
interesting too because the guys were kind of wearing stage wear and Ricky was full blown stage wear. Like
Yeah.
him and the bass player. The bass player actually went through wardrobe changes.
Wow.
Yeah. But the interesting thing I'd never seen before too was
Gussie,
there.
I said the Outlaws, didn't I? I meant Blackfoot. I'm sorry. My
I
bad.
kind of figured you meant Blackfoot.
Yeah, I meant Blackfoot. I'm terrible.
I understood you.
I remember the bass player there. He was playing through a typical an Ampeg SVT into a fridge, and because you're sitting out in the sun, they had 2 4-inch ducts running through the head on either side into it, straight off like a dryer system, going off an ice machine box to blow cold air into the amp head to keep it from overheating. So,
Wow.
I'm thinking, okay, those amp heads, they're pretty bulletproof. They can go through a lot. So is he running everything dimed to get his sound? Like, oh yeah, I take an SVT and just dime it. Okay.
Or instead of running 115 volts through it, maybe he's running like 180 volts through it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To heat it up,
Like I was taking photos of that stuff because I'm just like, nobody will believe this shit. Like this is next level.
Yeah. Thanks, Gussie. I appreciate it, buddy, for slapping me in the head and making me.
You know, I always wonder all these mods and all these tones they go for live. It's like, do you really need to do that live? I mean, for recorded sound, yeah, but it's. I mean, when you're in an arena or outdoor show, it doesn't really make that much of a difference.
I think only in the sense, like, if you're hearing yourself, I know myself, like, when I'm on stage, when I have my tone dialed in, it puffs my chest out a little more. I play better as a result because I'm like, fuck, oh, I sound awesome tonight.
It's more for the player than the audience.
I think so, yeah, definitely for the player.
Then you look out the front of the house and you walk into like in front of the stage and you're like completely onto the mix and you're like, what the fuck?
Well, that was the thing when they saw Skinner, because when they first started the set, I was backstage, and then when they kicked me out, I walked around side stage, and I really liked, because I'm listening, because they actually used wedge monitors, and I like stage mixes. You know, what can I say? I like stage mix.
Like side fills and stuff. Oh yeah,
exactly. And at that time, that summer, I was gigging a ton, so that was where my headspace was at. I walked out front, realized one, I forgot my earplugs. So one, it was too loud, and I was just like, it's that generic outdoor festival mix.
Mush.
It sounds okay. Yeah. But then I got back side stage, and I'm like, no, that's the mix. And I was on Gary's side of the stage, so I just hung out side stage. And and security came along. They're like, should we move him along? And then the backup singers, they're like, oh, he's not bugging us, because they kept coming back. Because if they weren't singing a song, they'd actually come off the stage, and they were hanging out with me in the side stage area. And then Doug texted me because he's out front. He's like, dude, I'm 20 feet, stage center out front. You got to come meet up. I'm like, no, I'm good, dude. I'll tell you this later. Believe me, dude, I am taken care of. I'm hanging with the band,
And the sound is way better up here.
Oh, it was perfect.
Yeah.
I was fortunate.
That's all I wanted was a little extra Gary, and that on his side of the stage, it was a little more him.
I was fortunate in the 80s that...
With a little extra Gary, everything's better. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Exactly. Who doesn't want
future experience?
More Gary.
Yeah, I still remember the sound systems in the 80s. I mean, we used to move along. We had like these subwoofers, woofers, mids, and the wattage being pushed out wasn't that much. And now we've just got like we've got the woofer with the pole and the built-in mid and tweeter on top, and it pushes out far more watts than those old systems did that we broke our backs on.
Yep,
that's the truth. Well, it's I didn't know. My dad likes to drop knowledge, and he'll be coming on for Father's Day, folks.
Cool.
He would say things like, he'll just drop that knowledge because he's from that that older generation. He goes, do you know why sets are 45 minutes and you get a 15-minute break at bar gigs? I was like, no. He says, because we all ran tube PA systems, and when tubes start to overheat, you got quieter and quieter.
Yep. And he said, man.
At the 40-minute mark, once you turned it on, let them warm up for 5 minutes, you'd start your set, you'd get about 40 minutes in, and you'd start hearing that sag, and the whole band is getting quiet. Because all of a sudden, you start hearing the crowd more while you're playing. And then at that point, you're like, okay, folks, we're taking a break. And then you put everything in standby, let it all cool down for 15 minutes, do another set. And I'm like, really? He's like, yep.
That is truth. That is so true.
And then I thought, Jesus, relying on a two-powered PA system. That's got to be fun.
We had crown tubed power amps down here in Florida, like within the last 15 years. We had crown power amps.
Wow.
With tubes that weighed a friggin' ton. And I had one of the racks, one of the amp racks, fall over on me one day, loading into a place we were playing. And that was like 1,000 pounds.
No doubt.
We were like at sidewalk level, and the stage was like one step up. The back door of the club was right off the stage. And I'm the guy walking backwards. And the guy pushing wasn't paying attention to the guy pulling.
Mm-hmm.
And he just went too quick, man. That thing just fell right on top of me. And it took 3 guys to pick it up off of me.
Get down.
And get it off me. It was, oh, my God. But, yeah, tubes. We had all tube stuff for a long time.
Pain in the ass.
I don't miss moving them friggin' those PA crates anymore. Those cases were friggin' stupid.
Oh yeah, and that's why I have back problems now, probably.
Me and you and me both, buddy.
Oh, I know.
But it was
I
still
did
fun.
live sound for bands before I started gigging again. So I was like, oh, yay. I just mixed 5 bands worth of sound. Now I got to tear down a PA system. Yay.
Makes me think back to the local music store way back then. And I remember since they're a PV dealer, they had all the PV stuff. So they had the PV stage gear. And I remember the one piece that the guy was always complaining about moving and needing multiple people to move it. And that was the subwoofer or woofer that had the 18-inch Black Widow in it.
Terry. Let's see if we can turn this down. You mean one of those?
Yeah.
That's
The other one's behind. Yeah,
that's
that's
those
the
are
PA
215s,
system.
right?
Yeah.
215s with a horn.
Yeah, 115 with a horn, and then stacked next to it, those are 12s with horns. That's a Yamaha PA system.
Okay, I got you.
You should have seen the size of what we had in that band I wrote Crude for in the early 80s. It's like, oh my, they must have been at least 3 feet across.
We had long throw bass bins that were like 4 by 4 by 2 deep.
Yeah.
Long throw bass bins made out of like plywood. Oh my God, we had 4 of them.
These could have been 4 feet as well. I'm trying to remember back.
Yeah, they were gigantic. I used to have to keep them at my house because I was the only guy with a garage back then. So I had to keep
Tim
them all in my
Seymour says
garage.
CVSP series. You got it.
Oh, Jesus.
Depending on the size of the club, we wouldn't take those huge subwoofers. And I always loved when he played a small club because it's like, oh, good, we don't have to take those friggin' things.
Yep.
Robot Mess Switch asks, is there a place these days for 412 cabs anymore, apart from ironic bedroom rigs?
I love 412 cabs.
I gigged with a 412 when I was
You're right,
playing original music, but it was as much for looks as anything else on stage because it was nothing. There's my sound. Like that thing was on minimum.
I got nothing against 412s if you need that nice bottom endy sound and that full sound. I mean, they're great. I mean, I had a PV 4x12 with Scorpion speakers from '84 that my brother and those are built like rocks. And great cab. I ended up selling that a few years back. I mean, you could drop that down the stairs and the stairs break. And I think I may have done that once at a place, but
I hated carrying that cab to the point where, still back there, that I would give the other guitar player in the band, I'd buy him his first beer of the night at every show just to load my cab in and out each night. He's like,
we're doing a lot of.
Yeah, I'll carry a cab for a beer. I'm like, and I'll gladly buy you a beer to do it.
I'd love to have 4x12 if I needed it, but I don't need it.
When we played a lot of outdoor gigs, I would run my Randall Warhead 215 cab, the Dimebag Darrell 215, with a 412 on top of that.
Jeez.
Wow. Only for outdoor gigs. Other than that, I just used the 412. But let me tell you something. That 412 with the 215s, because I played mostly rhythm. Man, it'd make you want to crap your pants.
I play stereo if it's given an option. Like you show up at, like you say, outdoor gigs. We play a couple of festivals each year. Like there's one local one that I always say I played the festival 3 years in a row with 3 different bands somehow. Like figure that out. And it wasn't like I was the booker for any of those bands. So it's like we just happen to play there each year. And a lot of times it was supplied back line. And some years they would have more donated gear than others. So if you show up and there was 6 amps back there, I'm like, well, screw it. I got stereo out on my chorus. I'm running stereo at this mother, because why not? And we'd be up there and we had a great sound guy, great lighting guy. So it was always, you never sounded better than you did each time at that gig. And we play and people are like, you come up to each other while you're playing, like, fuck, we sound great, don't we? You're like, no shit. Nice gear's nice. What are you running through? Oh, I got a AC 15 and what am I? A DeVille. Yeah, that's nice. Nice little comp.
Hey, while I'm thinking of it, this just popped into my head. If a good way to get the EVH sound, Sammy era sound, that
Yeah.
chorus, big chorus sound. I remember one time I was playing. We have the local festival, Petross Fest. The first one I played, I had a Fender amp, and it crapped out on me. And so someone let me roll a jazz chorus. And the thing is, I was using power amp section I was running Digitech GSP through the power section. And so, that amp. So what I did is I ran the line out of that into the Rolling Jazz chorus. And just for shits and gigs, I had this patch that comes with it called Euro Rock, right? Was my hard rock tone. It had slate chorusing on it. And just for shits and giggles, I put the chorus on the amp and stumming it. And I go, oh my God, this is the EVH tone.
Nice.
And so, I didn't care. It was just it was my first year playing that. We were the first band there. And so I played the whole set just using that sound. I just was tickled using it.
Why not? Hey, we got 6-string Stanger in here. Says, I'd love to downsize from my 412 Marshall 1960 vintage to a Mesa 212 or an Orange 212. Both good options.
Yeah.
I'm
happy now just showing up with a 112 combo. I'm good.
Oh, yeah. That's why Katana 100. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the last gigs I played was a few years ago. It was a bike run, and I went over this on Hack's channel. I had just gotten the Katana 100 1x12, and so they told me, it's not a really formal gig. It's like they're not miking amps. And I said, well, I'm going to bring Katana 100. And my other guitar player had a spider valve head, and he took his 4x12. And I go, you know what? I don't care. I mean, I took it to rehearsal, and it cut through at rehearsal. I said, what the hell? I'll bring it. And I tell you, with that on full power, with the master at 1 o'clock, it cut through, and it sounded great. When you pushed it, it didn't turn into a scratchy mess. And I was so hooked on that, I said, you know what? There's no speaker out on this. Spend a few $100s more and get the friggin' head. Sure. So now I've got the head and the combo. And I've said before, I'm moving away from tubes. It's like I've got Buddha Super Drive on consignment still, too. I'm selling. I do have a PV 5050 in my rack. I'll probably never get rid of my rack. Yeah, I do have the Blue Guitar Amp 1, which I really like. I'm going to incorporate that if I have to stop playing out again. And I've got the little stuff too, like the Joyo Zombie. I like screwing around with. Nice. I used to have a Mesa Mark IV combo, and that's like almost 100 pounds. It's like it's compact, but it's like. So I got rid of that. I had a JVM head that I never used because there's no place you can use it.
Right.
So I got rid of all that. I used to have a lot more amps, and now I'm attacking the guitars, trying to trim those down.
Robot Mess Switch is asking, you have to match impedance with tube heads and cabs, right? It's a good idea.
Yep.
I do recommend.
Yeah.
Because you're either going to fry the cab or you're going to fry your head. It's going to be one or the other if you don't.
Yeah, you can get away with going out of the 16, going into an 8 ohm if it's supposed to be 16 ohms. So if you go into a 4 ohm, you're going to have problems with the transfer.
You're asking for trouble. Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't advise. When in doubt, go up in impedance. The worst that's going to happen is your volume's going to come down a little bit. That's nothing wrong with putting more of a load on.
No, exactly.
This cat, I tell you, I got 3 of them. This is the one that wants to be on camera all the time.
Ben Tom says, Crowbar is the guitar tease. He knows he kicks that guitar's ass, but he won't put up any videos.
Yeah, well, I'm not really equipped for it, and I haven't played in a while. It's like, I've talked to Gary on this. It's like, and I'm just going to put this in a quick nutshell because I don't want to get too deep down this. It's like, I go through these periods where I played, I started playing in 84, and I put it down in 93, started dating my girlfriend. It was 9 years I didn't play, and then my friends got together, started having a band. So from 2002 to like 2006, we had a band. Then it was 2 years. In 2008, we started another band until 2013. Put down in 2015 to 2018. So I've had all these hiatuses. And the thing is the crowds have changed over the years so much. It's like, you know, I use this example. I mean, when I was in this band, Tina and the Pimps, we played like disco songs, 70s songs and stuff, and we put a rock edge on it. And one of the things we used to do, Stevie Wonder's Third Duke, and there's that middle bass part that I used to do in unison with the bass player. Tough to get tight, but every now and then it would be tight and be great. One night we're playing this, we hammered that song. We were nailing it, and we're looking at each other and we're going, yeah. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, we're gonna stop, and this crowd of people out on they're gonna friggin' crickets, right?
Oh,
They get your ass off and stuff. And then, you know, it's these epiphanies, and I had a couple of them before. I go, what the hell am I doing? Do I really want to put time into this? So I get kind of disillusioned by it.
Right.
And I always use the pool example. You know, it's like growing up, I learned how to play pool when I was like in my teens at the BFWs when my father used to take me there. Some old guy taught me. And I became quite a good pool player. But, you know, after that, I play every now and then afterwards in the bars. But you have these people that take it so seriously. But what's the end to it? You spend all this time in the pool halls or at the bar trying to get good for what? So, you know, I kind of get that feeling too. It's like, how much time do I want to put into guitar and playing music, because the payoff really isn't there. Okay, my own amusement, but, you know, I go through these periods where it doesn't really amuse me that much, because I think I was a creature of craze when I was, you know, I picked up guitar pretty well when I was younger, and, you know, I'd be at parties and stuff, and I get all this praise, and, oh, wow, you play guitar and stuff, and I kind of fueled on that, you know, and back in the 80s, it's like, you know, playing guitar, got your dates.
Sure.
Now it gets you nothing.
Yeah.
Well, not that I'm looking for a date. I mean,
Just imagine if you were a bass player.
Oh, geez. Bass player gets
I can speak as a middle-aged single guitar player. It probably hurts you more than it helps you at this point in life.
Yeah, it's because, you know, shame on me. I've always been a lazy guitar player. I was fortunate that I had an aptitude for it, and I had a musical background. I was an all-state tuba player, and I had been playing bass for 2 years in a jazz band when I picked it up. But, you know, other than that, I'm self-taught on guitar. And I just took to it. But I'm late. I look for shortcuts, and I just listen to a lot of music. And it kind of seeped into it, and I can fake my way through some stuff. And I'm an old guy with tricks up his sleeve. That's all I am.
So Jimbo,
that sounds very familiar.
You still got a tuba?
You know what? If I were a dishonest person, I would. I had one that they gave me to practice with. The music teacher changed my senior year, and, you know, the friggin' thing's probably worth like $4,000. It was totally forgotten and stuff. And I'm an honest guy, so, you know, at the end when I graduated, and the thing is that the teacher we had in 12th grade that took over for the person before was a total battle axe. And I just, without getting too deep, it's like, you know, hey, I understand she was in a tough position. I helped her out. I played tuba in junior high bands during my lunch break, study halls, because they didn't have one, and all this stuff. And she gives me my grade, and it's like, normally I'm getting 97s and stuff, and I got like an 84. And I go, what the hell? You know, this is screwing with my GPA. You know, it's like, I did all this and did all this. And I'm like, oh, I grade differently. In the meantime, my buddy Tony, who played sax, he was at a pep rally once. And that first quarter, he flipped her off. And go, F you, I'm really like that. You got an 89. So when I confronted her about the grade, she kept, I grade differently. I go, well, Tony got an 89. What do I have to friggin' flip you off to get a better grade? And then after that, all bets were off. I didn't do her any favors, and I made a life of living hell. The whole, but what I wanted to say is that tuba players didn't wear hats when we marched because, you know, it hit the sousaphone. So,
Yeah.
so I go to get my diploma, and it's a blank thing. That means I owe the school something. And this is like 1 week after I brought the tuba back. You know, oh, well, you know, I had this for 4 years. They didn't even know about it. And it's like, okay, fine. They held it. I had to go to the cafeteria afterwards and to get my diploma. And there she is. It said, well, you didn't return your hat. I'm like, how much did you pay attention? Tuba players didn't freaking get hats. I said, you withheld my diploma from that after I gave you that damn tuba back? It's like, you know, I said, and I kind of put on a scene. And I said, I'm glad I'm out of this effing school. And it's like,
No doubt. No doubt. Well,
I played tenor drum in high school.
On that
geez,
note,
I didn't mean to eat up all the time. I'm sorry.
no,
I hope it was an interesting story. I wasn't just.
I liked it.
That was a good story.
That was a great story.
No, like you know, it's funny, Jim, because when Terry and Gary kind of knew what was happening this weekend, I was like, I had a guess that maybe was coming on or not. And when I saw you in Steve's chat last night, I was just like, but I didn't have your contact info, right? And I was like, I hope you show up in my chat tomorrow night because I want you to come on.
Well, I know one time when early on when I first started showing up in chats and you know, you had mentioned something. Hey, yeah, you're a funny guy. You got to get on here. And at the time, I had no camera, so it's like, yeah, maybe when I get a camera. At the time, I thought it was never going to happen. I thought I was never going to get online. And
thank God you did, Jim.
Fortunately, in May, I bought a laptop, had a camera on it. Then when Hack asked me, I go, yeah, why not try out the laptop?
Sure.
And this this is on the desktop. My girlfriend had a camera laying around in the desk. I mean,
Nice.
it's gold right now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Looks good too, man.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah, you don't want to see me in high def too much.
well, I thank each one of you for coming on. I'm already thinking to myself, doing the math for StreamYard for a month. I'm like, okay, so tomorrow night's show, I'm going to shoot with my phone on the mobile app, Terry. So I won't be using StreamYard.
No.
So
how much? Well, I'm not going to ask you how much. Is it a better bargain to go with Zoom at all? I don't know how much.
I haven't tried Zoom yet. I gotta try that out, see how that works.
Zoom seems to be easy to work with, but I don't know how.
I'll say something about Zoom. Me, Mitch, and Dale did a hang last night, but we didn't go live on Zoom. And I'll tell you what, the video quality is great, the audio quality is great, and we hung out for like an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, and Zoom works really good. But you got to use.
It's taken off.
But you got to use like OBS for like an interface. So,
Ben Tom. All right, we'll go to the bottom of the hour if we get a super chat. How about that?
Wow, that's a long time. I'm gonna have to pee again.
Heck, Ben, I'll send you something in your PayPal if you want to go on more.
Let's go for it.
Let's wait for the super chats.
Yeah, he brought it up.
Well, you're waiting. I'm gonna go pee.
You do that. John's like, somebody hit the side of Bent Tom. He's stuck. It's just overtime.
Yeah, so we had kind of a wild stream last night on Brian S.'s channel.
Nice.
I think Brian S. was into the liquor a little bit there.
Well, that happens with Brian from time to time.
Well, you know, you guys aren't getting to know it because I don't really drink. I haven't drank in since August of last year.
Okay.
And I'm Irish and German. Thing is that I'm the two drinkingest nationalities on the planet. And the thing is, I can toss them back pretty prodigiously. You know, it's like, but
sure.
the whole thing is I'm not a person that does it every day. I'm a social guy, but I'm a big guy. You know, I toss them back and whatever. And but thing is that it was kind of affecting my system last year. You know, I'll just 3 letters IBS. And you know, I'm getting older. It wasn't my friend last year, and I've been trying to pinpoint exactly what it, and it hasn't been food or anything. It was alcohol. And the thing is, if I were to have a few drinks right now, go to bed, it wouldn't bother me. It's like, but here's the thing: if I did it with any regular, let's say if I did tonight, then 5 days later, and then over a period of 2 weeks, it would come back.
Yeah. So you're okay. It's a special occasion type thing.
Yeah. So there hasn't really been a special occasion. I feel like drink. I've been on intermittent fasting, and the thing is that
works.
I eat what I want in a 6-hour window from 12 to 6. I've dropped 130 pounds.
Holy
awesome.
Yeah. And when you saw me in the Halloween video with Steve from Boston,
right?
I was actually 316 at the time, right?
Wow.
And right now I'm 280. And but when I started this whole thing last year, I got pretty huge. I got on the scale. I was like 410.
Wow.
I wear it well though. It's like, I'm 280 right now. A lot of people will look at me and think I'm like 220.
Sure.
So,
hey, Rob 212 just joined in. Good to see Rob in here.
Hello, is anybody there?
Jeez.
Hello?
I love the fact that Bent Tom
Can
does
you hear me?
for overtime, but then the very next thing in the chat is "Be right back, tuck in my son."
So he's paying for overtime, but wait, we gotta wait for him to come back then.
Yeah.
Can anybody hear me? Oh, God, baby Jesus. Hello? Hello there.
See,
But
I
anyway,
gotta figure out
I can't even do salt
Hey,
tonight. Man.
careful.
I was gonna say, I gotta figure out how
Hey.
to do that where I gotta add a picture here. See, like you have a picture when you mute your cam. I don't even have that, and I've been using this stuff since August.
Come on, get with the program, Ben.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just figured out how to create a broadcast in August, and then I start using it. And you know me, I'm like, yeah, it works. That's why I hate it when guys like Pete Thorne, if they have a problem, they're like, well, Ben's my StreamYard guru. He knows everything about it. I'm like, don't be saying that.
Sandra made me a killer intro video. It's like 12, 15 seconds long. It's when I do videos on my channel.
Right.
And it's friggin' awesome.
That's
But I can't figure out how to use it.
Is because I know like Nesdal does a video intro and he uses StreamYard. I don't know how to do any of that stuff.
Me either, man. I can't figure out how to do it, but it came out awesome.
Yeah.
So did you guys catch the Johnny Bean, the Becker and Kotzen? Two of my favorite guitar players. It's like,
Richie Kotzen's badass.
Funny story is like, my Becker was still up on reverb when I watched that. And I said, well, it's not selling. When I saw that, and I go, you know what? If it doesn't sell, it's not that bad. Maybe I'll just take it back. I meant to have it. That Monday, it sold.
Yeah, I remember that because you and we both had Steve open and Johnny open at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't catch as much of Johnny as I wanted to. I really, because I'm a huge Kotzen fan. I still remember he had advertisements for guitar lessons. It's like Richie Kotzen from Arthur's Museum was the name of his band. And I go, who is this guy? So he had his first Shrapnel release, and I picked that up, and I go, this guy's a freak of nature. Yeah. And then a couple albums later, or a second album, Electric Joy, he started singing, and I go, oh my God.
He's got a great voice.
Fucking great voice, too.
Yep.
And he plays jazz. He played in the group Virtue with Lenny White and Wayne Shorter, and I think Stanley Clark was in it for a while too. And he took to that. I mean, look it up, Virtue with Richie Kotzen, and if you, I can't even remember the name of the song that Kotzen does. It's called Unity Gain, I think, or it's like it's almost like his take on Giant Steps.
Okay.
By Coltrane. And he burns on that too. It's like just a freak. I've seen him a couple times. I saw him at Patriots Place in Foxborough, right near the stadium. There was Showcase Live. That was a great place to see show. I saw Tommy Emmanuel twice there. Saw Buckethead there.
Saw Weather Report at Providence Performing Arts Center back in the late 80s. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was badass.
Was Jocko playing?
No, actually, Stanley Clark was playing.
Oh,
it looks like we got Chris Bevan here in the chat. Hello, and apparently we share the same birthday. Except he turned
Whoa.
50. So happy 50th birthday, Chris Bevan.
Hey, happy 50. Yeah, and I just turned 52 3 days before Ben did.
Man,
Right.
you're
Well,
all
happy
puppies.
birthday to you, Jim.
You too.
Yeah.
I'll be 59 in August, in case you're wondering.
Ooh, pushing.
We'll have to have a party.
Yeah. Oh.
See,
You know me.
Gary's a warning to all of us what's coming to us, right?
That's right.
I
I could look like this.
Yeah, that's 7 years off for me.
This could be you.
I could start a new theme on the channel. I could host virtual birthday parties amongst the guitar community, especially if your birthday falls on a Sunday.
It's great.
But it
Chuck,
doesn't include an ice cream cake.
Oh, Ben, you're a bad influence.
Chuck E. Cheese.
I'll be
How
back. I'll be right
how
back
we-
again.
How are we going to do lice balls?
We'll figure out a way.
I've been to Chuck E. Cheese once for
Wait a minute. Did you just say rice balls?
lice balls? Lice.
Oh, okay.
You know, the
Oh,
balls
lice.
kids jump into
All
it,
right.
you play,
I'm just
catch
Making
lice.
sure what you were saying.
But anyways,
You gotta do Benny Cheese for all the musician birthday parties. It's going to Benny Cheese.
Aaron Cram says, so who's the youngest one here? I'm 35. I think you just won, Aaron.
yeah, yeah, you won. Hey,
Yep.
what's sad is I always used to be the youngest guy in the room, and never. But any of you ever had Chuck E. Cheese pizza?
I think once.
Yeah. Most of us only once. To me, it's like cardboard with ketchup and American cheese on it. That's how I equate it to. It's like,
I
and it's
never
such a
had-
racket. They're just making this. It's like, okay, go in the oven, charge a premium.
Yeah, I think there's still one an hour up the highway from us.
I've never had one, but the one food critic guy, food tester guy, Dame Drops out of Mass, he actually went to a Chuck E. Cheese because there was the rumor that Chuck E. Cheese would take whatever is left of a pizza that wasn't eaten and actually put it together, put a little bit more cheese on top of it, and throw it back in the oven.
Oh, dear Lord.
So he actually went to, I guess, a Chuck E. Cheese there in Boston, Mass, or in the Massachusetts area where he is.
One Attleboro. Okay.
And so he ordered a pizza. And he's thinking, okay, well, if this is a fresh pizza, it'll look like a pizza. So he gets it back into the van, or yeah, I think he had a van or an SUV at the time. So he goes, okay, fam. He goes, let's see what it looks like. And he opens it up. Sure enough, there's different sized pieces all over around the pizza, making the pizza.
Oh man, that's when you bring it back and you smash
That's
it.
unacceptable.
Yeah.
No, it is unacceptable. So it's
That's
like, oh my
disgusting.
God.
Hey, Ben Tom, he just said it's horrible cardboard ketchup and government cheese. Don't down on government cheese. That's not government cheese they use. Government cheese is delicious. And if you want
I
the
agree.
equivalent, at Stop and Shop, you get this sharp yellow cheddar in the blocks. That is an awesome. I've got a block in my fridge right now. That's an awesome cheese.
Nice.
I like the grill, and I'll tell you what, yellow American craft singles are the best cheese ever on a hamburger. I don't care what anybody says.
I gotta do cheddar. I can't stand American cheese. Used to be sharp years ago. You go to the deli, get sharp, and when you sliced it, if you sliced it too thin, it would fall apart. It was like sharp cheddar. And
Right.
I used to like the sharp American cheese. That old I could eat that all day. Now you get it just milky and gooey and
It's the oil content. It's all about the oil.
yeah. I go with cheddar cheese. I like all cheeses except American.
That's like McDonald's and stuff. They use that almost like
Yeah,
craft
oil
singles, but it's got a really high oil content, so it doesn't.
Yeah, when it
break.
melts, it just turns into it's like an oil.
But it melts in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It melts so fast. That's
Yellow
why
oils.
they use it. Yeah, that's why they use it.
And I can't understand the draw from McDonald's and Burger King. I was never a fast food junkie. I really don't eat fast food hamburgers. It's a saving grace. But, I love my Popeye's fried chicken and stuff like that. And I'll get a chicken sandwich from some of these places. But I just can't understand with all the options out there for a hamburger. It's like people go for that. No, you know,
depends
go to
depends on
Five
how long you want
Guys.
to wait.
Yeah, go to Five Guys. Five Guys is infinitely better than a
We just got
McDonald's.
5 Guys delivered last week, me and my wife. And my wife doesn't
Right.
even like burgers. She goes, "We're getting 5 Guys delivered." I'm like, "Yeah!" I was like a little kid. I was like all excited.
Smash
Jerry's
Burgers
opening,
are
checking the
priced-
calendar. Is it my birthday? Like, what's going on here?
Oh yeah, I was like, "Am I dying? Do I have cancer? You didn't tell me. What's going on?"
What did you do?
Yeah, so I did something right. Apparently, I don't know what it was, but I did something right.
Yeah,
When I
that
was
was
like a little
hiding
kid.
something wrong she did.
Yeah. Oh
Hey.
yeah, you know what? I never thought of that.
Hey, Tom says he can't eat milk-based cheese anymore. Well, what cheese do you eat then? It's
Yeah,
all
but it ain't
milk.
milk based. What else you got?
I think he's well, even cottage cheeses, but that might
If
be
I
a
was
little-
lactose intelligent, I think I'd kill myself because I
No,
drink
that-
like a gallon of milk every 2 days.
No, the gas would kill you.
The only cheese you could have then that doesn't have lactose is goat.
Ugh, that's depressing.
Well, goat cheese isn't bad.
I drink a lot of milk, so that's why I could never like go
See,
non-dairy.
I don't like milk at all. For
He
the most
uses
part.
a pea protein-based
I am-
alternative.
But I
That
use
doesn't
almond.
even sound good.
Vegan cheese.
But there is
See,
no vegan cheese.
I'm not shaking my head at Tom. I'm shaking my head in sympathy. I drink oat milk. Okay.
What do you vegan cheese? You do that by scraping it off an unwashed vegan?
Pea protein.
Well, that was like,
based.
what was it? Last year, when I stayed at JJ's place, the first time I flew out there, and got up that first morning, he's like, "You want some coffee?" I'm like, "Oh yeah," because I had like 3-4 hours sleep. He's like, "What are you taking in coffee?" I'm like, "Well, I'm Canadian, so double." He's like, "What the hell is a double?" So I'm like, double cream, double sugar. And he's like, "We don't have sugar in the house." I was like, "What do you mean you don't have sugar in the house?" Like, "We don't carry sugar." I'm like, "Okay, you don't have white sugar. Do you have brown sugar?" Yeah. No. I'm like, "Do you have honey? Do you like have some kind of a sweetener?"
Stevia.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, "Oh, right. We're in California, right? California, no sugar, whatever." So we go to Nam the first day, and the first time we go upstairs to the Gibson room, they have a second room where they do the VIP meetings or the buyers meetings, whatever, which is catered. I didn't care anything about the food, but I saw about a dozen sugar packs. I walk over and grab
Snag them.
threw it in my swag bag because I'm like, Ben's not going to go sugar-free the rest of this trip.
Gotta love
I don't know.
California. They turn it into their own personal utopia so much that they have to leave and turn another place into a shithole.
So,
Oh, my God.
Jimmy, let me ask you a question, Jimmy. You drink coffee, right?
I can't have caffeine. I have to do decaf.
Okay, but how do you like your coffee?
I usually have it black with a little milk, and I use stevia.
All right, so regular,
Yeah,
kinda.
yeah, kind
It's
of.
funny. We first moved down here. I went to a Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like, "Yeah, give me a large regular coffee." And they're like, "What?" Like, large regular coffee? I said, "What do you mean, a regular? Regular, cream and sugar."
Yeah.
They're like-
Whereas a regular here would be 1 cream, 2 sugar.
Yeah, okay, that's acceptable.
Yeah.
But down here, they had like no clue, not a clue what regular meant. So don't come to Florida and order regular coffee because you'll just get like a blank stare. And what the fuck are you talking about?
Also,
No,
don't ask for a Wayne Gretzky.
What's that? Iced.
No,
I love iced coffee.
no. Somebody got this brainstorm of an idea of doing Wayne Gretzky's number: 9 creams, 9 sugars,
Oh my god,
coffee.
Oh.
that's obscene.
Yeah.
You go into diabetic shock as soon as you drink it?
No shit.
See, a saving grace of mine is that I've never been big on sweets. Now, granted, I like a piece of chocolate every now and then. Maybe I take once a year. I have my ice cream all the time. But I'm not clamoring for it. It's something I enjoy, and I can't overdo it. I just don't like it. And I mean, I would have been twice as big had that not been the case. But Yeah, for years. I mean, as soon as now diet soda's not the healthiest for you, but I prefer diet sodas over regular soda because sodas just start getting sickeningly sweet. But here's the thing: if you to the high fructose corn syrup, to know how sickeningly sweet that is, taste that, and then get the Mexican Coke with regular sugar in it. You get something with regular sugar, you go, "Where's the sugar?" In comparison, it's like, well, this is what you used to drink when you were a kid, and it's like, and it was sweet enough for you then. I think all up here, stevia. First time you use stevia, it's like, ooh, it tastes a little artificially sweet and stuff, but it's all
like
natural.
saccharin.
Yeah, but it's all natural. It's just comes from a leaf. A lot of people fought to keep that off the market because it's such a danger to the sugar industry because it's all natural and it doesn't have, and mostly DuPont, the one that invented friggin' NutraSweet there. Yeah. They're the ones trying to keep it off the market.
I was going to say the corn sugar, especially corn sugar in America, is huge.
Oh yeah,
and we just don't have that as much. Like we get some of the bleed off here, but because we're more of a much more wheat nation than a corn nation, we don't have that as a result. Same way ethanol was never as huge in Canada because we don't grow corn, is in comparison to the U.S. So we never had any of the corn-related spin-off being fuel and mainly sugar.
I used to have to buy my stevia as a supplement from GNC because they wouldn't allow it to be sold as food, even though it was healthier and more natural than these artificial friggin' chemicals.
Yeah, like that's not lobbyist based at all.
Yeah, exactly. So, I was glad when they started selling it. I usually go to Trader Joe's and I get the extract or get the big thing of it. And, I can do my sweets. It's not a calorie restriction thing. It's not, it's not like, ooh, I'm on this weird diet where I'm not going to have sugar. It's just that I had an aversion to it. So, I'm glad that was the case. The only time I was in the hospital back in 2014, I had food poisoning that turned into diverticulitis. And over the Christmas holiday, I was in for a week. And so what happened is when I got out of there, I had dropped like 50 pounds in a month because I wasn't eating anything. And when I got out of there, as soon as I got home, my girlfriend had made some Christmas cookies and stuff. I said, yeah, give me a couple of those. I think I'm getting my appetite back. Ate a ton of them, right? And for like 3 friggin' months, I just was on a sweets binge because my body was craving it. I put weight back on in like 3 months. It's like there was a Tasty Cake factory outlet on the way to work. And you always get the bargain ones, that the overstock. And they used to have the mint ones that were just so get boxed of those. I was snacking on those. And it's like, and I'm telling my girlfriend, this has to end. I said, I can't keep doing this. And sure enough, after 3 months, it leveled off and I started eating regular food again. But it's
nice. Van Tick says corn has an important role in liquor as well. That is true.
Oh yeah.
Same down here, you can fuel your car or fuel yourself.
Down here in Florida, Mountain Dew is a big thing. There are 2 varieties of there you go, Terry. See, we have the Mountain Dew like that, and we also have the old recipe that's all sugar without the corn syrup. So, and they only come in cans. They're a white label can with the old style, with the original label, with the hillbilly guy with the cork going through his his straw hat, holding a jug.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, the original one with the sugar is way better than the one that you're drinking, Terry.
Much more flavorful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. And not as carbonated. That's why I don't like Coke or like Sprite or like any of that. It's way too carbonated for me.
Yeah, it's almost like you got to pour it into a glass and let it sit for 10 minutes.
Yeah, or over ice or something. Yeah, and like chill it out.
I love heavy carbonation. I love when it's nice and cold and it bites the back of your throat.
I'm not a big soda guy anyway. I mean, but yeah, the regular Mountain Dew with the sugar, man, is way better than the shit in the green bottles.
I don't get that very often. Like, you see me most of the times anyways. I usually got a glass of water.
Yeah, I drink Gatorade a lot too. I mean, I drink a ton of Gatorade. I just
Well, you
buy
got
three
to. You
cases.
live in a state where it was invented.
Yeah.
True. Very true. Although
Yeah,
I'm not a football fan. But.
at the beginning of this whole pandemic thing, that's something my girlfriend picked up. And, I don't really drink Gatorade, but it was a good idea to have that in the house in case one of us got sick and needed to
Electrolytes are always good to have around, man.
Yep.
And I like the original Green Death flavor. I don't like the fruit punch or the orange or the friggin' blue or
And
whatever.
thank you. Yes, it's green and not yellow. It's green.
Yeah.
It's green, yeah. Yeah, it's green.
And anyways, it doesn't really matter. I get my electrolytes other way. I mean, I eat enough potassium, but magnesium, I take a supplement. Vitamin D, I've had a deficiency. I take supplements. I mean, magnesium is one of the most important electrolytes. Magnesium, potassium.
Yep.
Balance.
And magnesium is one of the hardest things to replace in your body too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when you measure it in your blood, that's only your blood level. A lot of it's in your bones.
Yep.
It's important, and you got to be careful how much you take of that because it'll make you very regular too. So
Yeah.
I take a B supplement. That's like about the only.
Yeah, I got to take
Vitamins I
B12
take.
sublingually. I was in the hospital once with B12.
So do I do the drops. The drops, yeah.
Yeah, I can't absorb B12 too easily, so I get the Kirkland. When I was in the hospital that time, in 2014, they did my blood work up, and my friggin' B12 was through the roof. It's like so I had to cut back on my sublingual. I didn't realize sublinguals were that effective because I was used to just popping the B12s and not getting it up to the point where it needed.
I remember I used to take 2 B12s and a couple of vitamin Ds before a gig. Always.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was funny because my drummer would look at me and goes, "Oh, great! I'm working with a pill popper." I'm like, "No, it's
Vitamins,
D, B12, a vitamin C shot, usually Robaxacet from Load In, and then I'm good to go. Let's play this gig."
Yeah,
I would usually do a rail, smoke half a joint, have a couple of shots of Jim Beam, and then I'd be good to go.
Well, there's that too. Yeah, well,
That
unfortunately,
was-
the Canadian music scene is that much smaller. You can't afford that.
Yeah,
That
Gary's
was
gonna outlive
That was
all.
my pregame ritual.
Gary's gonna outlive all of us. Here I am trying to have somewhat healthy living.
I'm going to be the next Keith Richards,
Yeah.
Would that be funny?
except fat. I'll be the fat version of Keith Richards.
Well, you got plenty of years. You can always live that way. Hey, get
Well,
on
the
the
thing
heroin.
is, that's
Get on the heroin.
yeah.
Yeah, Brian, I'm smoking too, buddy. It's all good.
Robot Mess Switch, all night diners after gigs, 4 a.m. eggs filled with smoke and your ears ringing. Yep.
We had a play.
I got 2 words: Waffle House.
Well,
See, we don't have Waffle House here, unfortunately.
we don't have
I'm sorry.
So for us, it was usually back in the day. Definitely Chinese food was the only place open.
Okay, that's acceptable.
And in town here, there is a Denny's. So usually it would
All
be
right,
Denny's.
that's okay,
post gig
too.
Denny's.
We have
But
Wes's Rib House
Yeah.
open till 4 in the
Or
morning.
actually, right over
Or
here.
the Oneyville
where
Wiener joint.
I live outside of town,
they're
right along the highway.
right next
have-
to each other.
We have one of the best truck stops in the province, right like 2 minutes from my house now.
Beautiful. That's the best food.
Yeah. The independent truck stops are the best. The chain ones suck. But just like anything else, your mom and pop, it's just that much better. And
All right, Jim.
we'd hit there post gig, and they'd have stuff like the trucker special. So it's a huge
Gary's
breakfast.
got
And
a
you're like,
question.
Hell's yeah.
Not a question, more of just a statement. I got 2 words for you. Haven Brothers.
Oh yeah. It's
But after
more-
you get out of a gig at like
Yeah,
3
yeah.
o'clock in the morning,
Yeah, exactly. They're overrated. Yeah, I'll get a chili dog from them, and it's a chili dog. Basically, I don't think there's anything special about the chili. I think they're cracking open big cans of warm milk, basically.
right, well, I never had the chili. I always got a burger. But after a gig at 3 o'clock in the morning in downtown Providence in 1986,
Yeah, that was the place.
that's your only option.
Of course, that's in Dumb and Dumber movie too.
Yeah,
Sure.
yep. Working on a
Or
little trailer.
now for our Canadian brethren, and Terry, you'd appreciate it probably. There is like 3 or 4 locations on Queen Street alone in Toronto, which is where most of the bars are now in Toronto, are all on Queen Street. there is at least 3 Smokes Poutineery locations where you can get 30 plus varieties of poutine up until 4 a.m.
Poutine.
Oh,
There's only one place I know to get poutine around here, and it's when I was going to school up in Marlboro last year. Come back through Hopkinton, there's this place called Bison Burger that made a great hamburger, and they had poutine on the menu. But the thing is, it's like, look, I'm getting this half-pound burger and stuff. I just got out. I don't want any sides. I don't want any fries or anything.
No.
Burger. But yeah, the burger was excellent. So I can imagine how that poutine was. But.
Yeah, because they do the flavored ones, like post gig, you guys, you're starving. All of a sudden, I can get this box that'll fit on my lap. I can eat in the car for the 3-hour drive back home. 2,000 plus calories of like pulled pork over poutine. I'm like, perfect.
See,
Chow
Ben,
down, and then usually by the time you're done, you look up at the highway sign and you're only 40 minutes from home.
I got a recipe for redneck poutine down here in Florida that I came up with.
Oh.
I made it last weekend, actually. Home
What do you
fries,
sausage gravy?
home fries and sausage gravy.
Yep.
And melt a little
I
cheese
hear
on
there'd
top.
be sausage gravy involved.
Oh my god!
See, this is the problem, guys. We don't have sausage gravy in Canada.
yeah.
Make it.
Easy to make.
I know.
Put cream
Want
in
me to
it.
send you a recipe? I'll email you a recipe for sausage gravy.
Please do, Gary, because you can get
I
the
will.
mix, but the mix isn't the same.
There's no mix. There is no mix. You got to make it from scratch, man.
Well,
Yeah,
that was-
it's flour. You just make a roux with flour and you put cream in. Well, you need the drippings from the when you cook the sausage. Right?
You buy the Jimmy Dean sausage in the big tube. The
Yeah.
big tube, not individual ones. Fry it up. And like Jim was saying, make a roux in a separate pan, little heavy cream, or if you got creme fraiche, you can use that. Little flour, little chili powder I throw in there, a little bit of garlic powder, black pepper. I put crushed red pepper. I use crushed red pepper too because I like shit really hot. And then get all that together and then throw it in the pan with the Jimmy Deans, mix it all up. If it's a little thin, a little more flour, little thick,
Right.
reduce it, add a little bit more creme fraiche or milk.
Well, this is
Dude,
the thing.
it's-
Like,
I do all in the same pan though. I use the drippings. I make the roux drippings, and I don't use the separate pan.
it was
Yeah,
funny.
see, I dump all the sausage and the drippings into the pan with the roux and then mix it all together from there.
We got Brian S. joining us here in the chat. Good to see you, man.
What's up, Mr. Stewart?
And this thing, when I started going down to the NASCAR races, because I don't sleep well with noise, I was always the guy that would wake up early in the morning, and then became friends with the guys that obviously they're good friends with us now, and they'd be cooking in the morning, and they'd always say, "Oh, it's just," "Oh, it's just." Well, I'd never had even like biscuits and gravy in Canada, right? So I'm like, "What's this sausage gravy?" I'd heard of it, and they're making up some biscuits and stuff. The first time I had it, I was like, oh, dear Lord, for a day of drinking, this is the perfect breakfast. Same as the next day, it was grits with Italian sausage and shrimp.
I'm not a grits fan.
I could not believe, I'm not a big grits fan either, but when you add the sausage and the shrimp,
Yeah.
now we got a whole new ball game going on here. I was like, damn.
It's intolerable when you add a ton of butter to it.
Brian says 45 to go in the Coke 600, by the way. Yes, I'm
Or maple
recording the
syrup,
week,
Jim.
Brian. No spoilers, please.
I learned that in Brunswick, Georgia. I was
Put a
down
little maple syrup in your grits. That'll work too.
there, and there's this African
So
American lady.
Ben doesn't like maple.
I'm not a maple guy.
I told her I've never had grits before, and she told me exactly how to do it. She said, it's just a lot of butter on it.
Yeah. It's
Well,
good with
yeah.
also, like I said, with maple syrup is good too. In grits.
Yeah, maple syrup's good. Well, with bacon and sausage, right? Whenever you have like a waffle with maple syrup, and the sausage and the bacon gets in the maple syrup, and then that's awesome. I don't like when
Brian was saying shrimp is good if you get really fresh shrimp, definitely.
Yeah,
One
it's
thing
gotta be fresh.
I was not aware of this, and this is obviously definitely a southern thing. Once a few years went by down at the races when we were hosting More Wounded Warriors, the local churches would donate food. breakfast casseroles. What in the sweet baby Jesus Southern tradition this thing is that, Terry, it's like a quiche, but multiplied times 5 in the heart attack region, because it's like a quiche, but stuffed with bacon, sausage, ham. I'm like,
That's not a quiche. That's not a
it's
quiche.
thick
That's
like a lasagna.
Sheesh.
My wife makes those for me all the time in like a casserole pan.
Oh my god!
It's
Yeah,
usually,
it's like
it's usually chorizo, jalapenos, cheese, red and green pepper, onion, and sometimes she'll throw some like sausage in there, but mostly just chorizo because I like hot stuff. It's in a big regular glass casserole pan.
yeah.
There's
I
no
was like,
crust.
what
There's
is
no
this
crust.
breakfast lasagna? Like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, dude.
You have chorizo down there?
Hell yeah.
No.
Dude. I got soggies in my freezer today. I just bought them
Is it
today.
as good as Central Falls?
Say what?
Is it as good as you get in Central Falls?
It's pretty good. It's like Yorkshire Farms or something.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we've got a heavy Portuguese, a lot of Portuguese in this area, especially when you go towards Pawtucket and Central Falls, and especially when you go out the New Bedford and Coal River. But the friggin' sausages they make. There's this place in Cumberland. They make awesome chorizo. I picked some. They've got them hanging, drying there. And
Yeah.
when I used to work up there, I stop off, get a couple links.
Yeah, when I lived at Fall River, I mean, all those like little Portuguese restaurants, man, they all make their own chorizo.
Mhm.
Oh, dude.
Hey, no spoilers, Hip Metalworks. No spoilers.
Make chorizo hash, right? Too. I do that once in a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
Like
Hash
corned
is
beef
decent.
hash, but use like chorizo instead of corned beef.
You know, a buddy of mine makes stuffed clams with chorizo too. That he makes too. He makes the traditional one. And he makes the chorizo ones.
We finally got a guy down here that makes clam cakes.
Oh, really? How are they?
The guy's
Well,
from
he-
Rhode Island.
Well, you have to have the right mix. You have to
Didn't
have.
have to time him out, Ben.
It's not bad. It's not bad. They're good when he's there, but they're not good when he's not there.
He got timed out for a spoiler.
When
I just
No,
remember-
no more spoilers, Brian. Now, come on now. Be nice.
Past
Oh,
the
boy.
hour.
Because I will be watching the Coke 600 when I get up tomorrow morning.
I'm like really hungry now. We've been talking about food for an hour.
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, we have gone almost 4 hours here. So,
I'm
So, are there any cookout plans for tomorrow? Or are you just staying in and?
I got a full work day tomorrow shooting videos myself. We had our long weekend last weekend. So
Yeah.
I was doing homemade burgers every night last weekend. That was my duty.
That's what I'm doing tomorrow. My wife just bought some nice 80-20.
Mhm.
Actually, it's 80-10-10. It's 80 beef, 10 pork, 10 beef fat.
Brian is killing me because he's acting just like Cousin Doug. He's like, I didn't say who was in what spot. It's been a good race despite the 4-hour rain delay. Yeah, and every time there's a rain delay, I'm always like, thank God I didn't go this year. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like,
Yep.
hassle.
Yeah, bacon sandwich with donuts is the bread. That works. Sweet and savory.
dang.
And when I was working in Worcester, there was this new place that opened up, and not a lot of places make chicken and waffles around here. They made a pretty good chicken and waffles. That I love that for breakfast.
That's a great combination, right?
Oh yeah, and that's another thing you pour syrup on.
Yeah, like who in the pot-headed dream figured out that combo, eh?
That's what they had left over in the fridge.
It's a mistake. Someone made some waffles, some Lego waffles, dumped some syrup on it, and had some leftover KFC in a box. And they were eating together, and they accidentally got some syrup on the fried chicken, and it was all over.
Yep,
That's
pretty much.
Oh, I understand that. It's actually what the poor black people used to eat.
yeah. But how'd they come up with that? It's like as far as that combination. It's like chicken waffles and the syrup. It's
Something's going to be left over. That the chicken was definitely left over from somewhere. And they were making waffles. And
Yeah.
they said, "Hey, we got chicken. We don't have sausage or bacon, so let's throw the chicken
Or
in there.
like too many people at the table. Instead of bringing one person over, you brought 3 people over. Robot Master Switch says jazz musicians in New York, and I'm almost saying because it's so high calorie, I can almost see it like that post gig. We're starved. Just chicken and waffles.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've never been to any of the chain places. I don't get out that often. I mean, last time I was in New York City in 2006. I think I haven't been outside of either Rhode Island, Connecticut, Mass, and New Hampshire, and so much that I go there to get my liquor when I was down there. You know, I drive like an hour and a half up the road straight up to New Hampshire, do the state liquor stores. You know, get my Glenlivet, which normally goes for like $50 a bottle. We'll get it for $36.
Yeah, I mean, many a trip to the liquor store. Right
stock
over the line,
up all my stuff for my Mai Tais and my Scorpion Bowls that I make. And
you don't even want to know what it costs for liquor here.
I know. See,
like, I'm pretty sure a 24 case of beer is $50.
Jesus.
Holy crap! I bought like yesterday. I bought a 18-pack of Rolling Rock for $10.99, and you can buy 2 of these for $38.
Okay. Now, even exchange rate, you figure 10 US is about 15 Canadian these days. Just a hip flask, a Mickey, a vodka was $15 the other day.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. See, the good thing about the state of New Hampshire is that they realize that they can generate tax by taking, running the liquor stores and selling in volume. It's like we'll sell cheap. We'll, per unit, we'll make a small profit, but everyone's going to buy from us. People from our state are going to buy from us, and that's going to be our revenue. And they're killing it. They've been doing state liquor stores how long now?
Yeah, they make up with quantity because it's selling so much stuff.
Well, we're only just now starting to see alcohol in private businesses. Like select Walmarts can sell some beer, some wine, like yours do. That's only just happened in the last year here in Ontario.
Wow!
Now,
it's not everywhere. It's only select locations.
How long has it been like that, where it's been a government liquor store?
Since day one.
Since day one.
Yeah, because the LCBO is the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, so government run, and the beer store used to be called Brewers Retail, and what it was is basically like a co-op of the breweries that set up a retail outlet to sell beer, but it couldn't be sold like in a convenience store or any department store or grocery store or anything like that.
Yeah, now when we moved to Florida 23 years ago, you couldn't buy beer in Rhode Island at like a 7-Eleven or a Cumberland Farms. They didn't sell beer. We drove down here and I went to get a pack of cigarettes at a 7-Eleven, and they got a beer cooler. I'm like, you can buy beer at a 7-Eleven? Holy crap!
I don't think convenience stores can sell in Rhode Island right now. It's like
if you go to a 7-Eleven, you can't buy a 6-pack.
No,
Still?
as a matter of fact, grocery store. Massachusetts just did it in the 90s. I remember they started selling in convenience stores about the time they started selling liquor on Sundays. So that was in the 90s. I went across the border on a Sunday, got a case of beer and came back. And so I thought that was a great thing. And New Hampshire had been doing that for a while with beer.
But Rhode Island, at a convenience store in Rhode Island, you still can't buy beer.
I don't see any convenience stores or supermarkets with liquor.
Wow.
Massachusetts,
that's basically like the same as here.
Yeah, well, I think that's a lobby too. I mean, I think it's a case of we've got so many liquor stores here that I don't think we even need to go to that.
Right.
We've got so many.
Brian's asking, what is the top Canadian brand of beer? What is the go-to for you guys? Traditionally, there was 2 brands, Molson Canadian, Labatt's Blue. But over the last 20 years, Budweiser has made major inroads. Budweiser and Coors Light because just major advertising. But traditionally, Molson Canadian and Labatt's Blue.
I can tell you that it's a privately owned liquor store I go to most of the time down here. He actually orders in Moosehead for me.
Nice.
Skunk
Yeah.
beer.
No way, man. Moosehead's awesome. Are you kidding me?
Anything in a green bottle is gonna skunk.
I'm not the biggest
No,
fan of
no.
Moosehead myself.
I love Moosehead. Or Labatt's Blue.
Good hockey beer, like I said.
And I like Molson Golden.
I switched to Labatt's Blue because I found Blue and Blue Light tasted so similar. You know, of any beers that had a light version of the regular beer, I could switch between those. So what I would do at a gig was first beer was a Blue, then I'd switch to Blue Light for the rest of the night.
PBRs are really big in Florida.
Oh God, those are awful.
Everybody.
I'd rather have Schmitz than PBR.
Jimmy, you can buy Gansett down here now.
Yeah, I know, but it's made in New York.
Yeah, they have 4 packs of Kingers for like $12 of Gansett. I'm like, I used to live down the street from the brewery in Cranston, you know, and now I'm paying like top. It used to be 25 cents a draft, you know.
Somebody asked, yes, Coors and Molson did merge a few years ago. Yes, Molson Coors.
I like Coors. I don't like Coors Light.
They've been merged for probably 10 years at least.
Yeah, I can drink Coors Light in the U.S. I can't drink it in Canada. There's a very slight difference in taste, but whatever it is, like that's the defining point because I'm not a Coors Light fan to begin with, so I can tolerate it in the U.S., but in Canada, just can't stand it.
I tell you what I drink. I mean, like I like the dark beers. I like several types of beers. I'm not a big fan of IPAs, but it's I like the stout. You know, I'll drink Guinness. I like Guinness, but Samuel Smith's oatmeal stout is awesome. I mean, I love that stuff. Sam Adams Black Lager, which is kind of tough to find. I like that. But on the lighter side, I like as far as a domestic beer. Now, technically, Sam Adams is a domestic beer, but I count that as an import because of the way it's made and, you know, the batches it makes. But as far as a domestic beer goes, I tell you, the original Michelob in bottle.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll take that. I mean, Budweiser is swill to me. And Coors is water.
Yep.
And
even Mid Lights were good back in the day.
Yeah. Budweiser is so damn common. It's the cola of beers. And you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and it tastes like crap.
Yeah, it's just like
if I'm going to have a Budweiser, I'm going to drink Bud Light. I like Bud Light.
I can't remember the last time I had a Budweiser.
Yeah, Bud Light. I'll go for Bud Light over a Budweiser, usually myself too. And usually I'll go into a bar, and for some reason, Labatt's Blue is very hard to find in bars in Ontario.
Really?
Part of it is the laws is every brewery is allowed to advertise one beer. You can advertise one regular beer, one light beer. And they decided when Labatt's got the Budweiser contract, it's all Budweiser advertising in Canada. So you go in, can't get it.
Labatt's cheap there. It
pisses me off because I'd watch hockey games and it's all Labatt's advertising all over the American hockey teams. Nothing in Canada. It's all Budweiser here, and I'm like, it's my beer. You know, like I have an easier time getting a blue in the U.S. than I do in Canada. How sad is that?
Yeah,
Jenny Cream Ale.
Cream Ale. Yeah, I used to like that too. I used to buy that when I was underage.
Oh,
Heffenreffer.
I hate all the Jenny beers.
Well, you know, Heffenreffer with the Rebus puzzles on top. You know, if you couldn't decipher the Rebus puzzles, that means you were too cocked.
Yeah.
It's like, but it was a good measure of the alcohol level. But I swear, those green bottles, Heffenreffer, you hold up to the light, you can see particles floating around in it.
Yeah.
If that's a good thing or not, yeah, it's like it would get you hammered.
That's protein.
Oh, yeah.
And wasn't a good hangover the next morning.
Yeah. Well, no hangover is good.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't get hangovers unless I drink something really bad. It's like if I get drunk on wine, I'll get a hangover, but that won't happen.
I was pretty damn hungover yesterday.
Yeah.
God damn. The hangover finally dissipated during Steve from Boston's live show. Everyone's like, "Hey, nice. You're here. How you feeling?" I'm like, "I'm getting there."
Barely.
I took naps yesterday, and I was feeling damn rough.
I can drink a prodigious amount of vodka and not have a hangover.
Well, in your case, we're mixing wine with
Oh, geez.
Moonshine.
Don't get drunk on wine, and do not mix wine with something.
Oh, you mean like I was mixing with moonshine the other night? Yeah, that was
But
brilliant.
there's one way I can get away with it. My mother's German wine that I make
That was
at
great, Ben.
Christmas. At Christmas, you take a cheap red wine and you take dark rum, light rum. It's like glug, basically. And, cloves, cinnamon, orange peels, orange, all that stuff.
Like
Just
sangria.
As soon as it's better.
High test sangria.
I can drink that with no problem, and I won't get.
Yeah.
I'll get a happy glow, and no matter how much I drink, I just maintain that happy glow, and I won't be hungover the next morning. Other people maybe, but it's for some reason it's some sort of chemical thing that happens that. But yeah, I didn't make it fast yet.
If I just keep drinking straight bourbon and I don't drink any beers, I don't get a hangover, and I can drink inhuman amounts.
Jim
of bourbon.
Beam, I used to be able to down pretty well years ago too. Jack Daniels, I can't stand.
I can still
And
drink.
that's
Me,
Jack
it's
Daniels.
Canadian
Rock
Club.
Gut.
If I'm drinking whiskey, I'm drinking Canadian Club.
Basil Hayden.
CCN 7 Up.
Basil Hayden is my preferred.
Well,
bourbon.
close. In Canada, we use ginger ale instead of 7-Up. So Canada Club.
That's a highball. That's a
Yeah,
highball, Ben.
You know what, Ben? I do too. It's usually I just ask for a 77, and I say if you got Canadian Club, I'll have that instead of Seagram 7.
Yeah, if I'm a designated driver, I'll drink like a Jim Beam and Steven, or a Jim Beam and ginger.
Here's the perfect drink for a designated driver.
Yeah, it slows me down. I'm drinking straight bourbon like the rate I'm doing right now.
I swear, officer, I'm a designated driver. What do you have to drink tonight?
I've been drinking 7-Up. What are you talking about? I've been drinking 7-Up.
Well-
I don't think I can even get 7-Up anymore around here.
Really?
Well, we managed to go basically another hour here, so that's been
crap.
awesome. So I think we'll probably wrap things up here.
Yeah.
So I want to thank Big G for joining me. I definitely want to thank Jim for joining me, the Big Thorbowski himself, and of course Terry's GG&G joining me as well. This has been a fun time, nice laid back hang. This is actually what we wanted to do. I hope the folks that have been tuning in enjoyed it. And hey to Rob F.
Yeah.
And this is fun stuff. I'll be back on tomorrow in approximately 20 hours. Play a few tunes. Yeah, thanks, Doug, for joining us earlier. Doug's been texting me rather than committed in the chat last while. So
That's cheating. That's cheating.
yeah, so literally I'm thinking of you, and all of a sudden I get a WTF about me. So yes,
And
thank
now
you, Doug, for joining us as well.
TF.
Yeah, he's being nicer in the
Well,
chat. It's only a WTH in the chat.
Thanks for having me on, brother Ben. I appreciate
We
it.
got Brian
Thanks
through
for inviting me.
225 miles. At least we got him about halfway there. Well, anytime, Gary. It's awesome having you on, brother. And like I say, all you guys. So definitely stick around here. I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight, new subscribers, returning subscribers. Thank you, everyone that donated tonight. And as always, hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. Do good things, and good things will happen to you. Karma is real. I'm living the dream. Gary's living the dream. Terry's living the dream. Jim's living the dream. Why? Because we're all just having fun. Play guitar. Be nice. All that fun stuff. Cheers and rock on.
Keep your stick